And she's a riveted still.
There she is. There she is.
Absent friends.
But you get on my nerves, and I don't like your hat.
Ba-ba-ba-bum. Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you so much for indulging me on that. It's because every single time Birdo Prey 5 would have a watch party for D Space Nine, he would sing the theme song, and I thought we needed to do that too.
Oh,
hello,
Yeah.
Honored in that case.
yes, hello, and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 81. Today is August 30th, 2024. The date that Cisco takes the place of Gabriel Bell to make sure the hostages aren't killed during a desperate plea from some of the more dangerous citizens of one of the sanctuary districts in the Star Trek universe. And isn't it just a little strange how on point Deep Space Nine was in predicting a disturbing future of tent cities? These kind of things have existed in the past, and it is a commentary on the homelessness of the 1990s. But this kind of thing has.
Unfortunately,
what is that?
I said, thank God it's all better now. I was being.
Oh yeah. No, that was the hope of the writers of the show. Is that wow? Look how gloomy Deep Space Nine was. They didn't predict the future at all. But unfortunately,
they did.
Well, doesn't it seem that sometimes science fiction stories, instead of the powers that be, instead of taking it as a warning, they take it as a template for the future that they want to create?
Well, yeah, and that was. Go ahead.
That seems so prevalent now. I mean, look at the memes that are going around. 1984 was a warning, not an instruction manual. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say we just haven't gone so far as to build walls around them. But when I was looking into this episode, that exact thing was being proposed in California. And the people who were against the idea saw this episode, and this episode might have stopped something like that from actually happening at the precise moment that it was going to happen.
Wow, that is kind of weird, actually.
Wow. It is
Wow.
funny throughout the episode. The Deborah Van Valkenburg character, also big up to Deborah Van Valkenburg for being in this episode, but she keeps talking about the governor, and the governor doesn't have a name, and so through the whole thing, I'm just thinking Newsom. So,
That's the actress that was in Streets of Fire, right? Is that the same lady?
Deborah
She
Van
was.
Valkenburg, she was in Streets of Fire. Okay,
Yeah,
I remember her from The Warriors and Free Enterprise.
Yeah, because they're both directed by Walter Hill. Yeah, I just double checked. Yeah, it is her.
Yeah. She played the hero's sister.
That's right. Yeah,
Streets of Fire.
Gray's sister. Yeah, I've asked her twice to come on my channel. Haven't succeeded yet. So.
Oh darn! This episode is also a warning for the near future, but it also breaks from normal Starfleet rules of engagement, which usually you don't side with the people threatening the lives of the innocent. But in this case, it's in order to help the innocent. So this is definitely one of those unique kind of Star Trek shows that kind of touches into our own reality, since it is thrown into the past, rather than having that comfort of the utopia. Because as we all know, Earth had to undergo turmoil and world war before Zephyr Cochrane figures out that warp drive. And so I do struggle a bit with the tone of this episode sometimes. So I'm grateful today to have on my channel. I don't know, is this your first time here, Mr. Lundell?
Yes, it is. First time
Yes,
on the
yes.
panel.
Welcome to the panel, Mr. Lundell. And you told me that this is one of your favorite episodes.
Yeah,
You,
because it is so prophetic. You see, I mean, first off, it in the story it takes place in San Francisco, and if you look at San Francisco today, it looks like the world that Gabriel Bale was in. Oh, it's supposed to be in. So I mean, this, I mean, of all the prophetic sci-fi out there, this one is the most scary and close to what's happening.
and I actually had my honeymoon in San Francisco, and I didn't see tents everywhere and everything. And if I were to go to the same places that I went in 2011 now,
Yeah.
things would look really different, and it would look more like this episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, San Francisco used to be really nice. Like I went there a couple of times, and in the 80s and 90s, and it was a really nice, nice town back in those days. It was clean, and there wasn't really the tent city thing at all. There was a bit of homelessness, but nothing like these days. It's changed a lot, for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, and I also want to say hello to the chat. Thank you so much for being here today. We've got Emu with the gun. I know there are many who dislike these episodes, but I enjoy them. I'm a bit in the middle on it. And Franco Walker says, yes, they're interesting and well written. If anything, they are very, they're entertaining episodes to watch and engaging in what they're trying to say. And hello to Snortopoopus Cuber, and good morning to LDG. He says, I want to thank everyone who joined us last night on Bergs. Yes, the outpouring of love and everybody who showed up. It was incredible to see, beautiful to watch. It, heartbreaking. Just hearing everybody share how they feel about Bird. His one of the things that he just did so wonderfully is just to make everybody feel welcome and want them to have a good time, even when he was probably in some pain. You didn't know it
Yeah.
by the way
Mhm.
he talked. But yes, thank you, LDG, for the service that you allowed us to see. Matt G, thank you for being here today. And Gavin Blackburn, hey, good to see you too. Rinko Walker says, please subscribe, hit the bell, share, hit like, and select live chat. And oh, I'm so sorry. I tried to look up what the translation for your name is, but it just seems like a series of Greek letters to me, and I don't really know what to call you. If you can help me by phonetically saying in English what I should call you, that would help a bit. I'm sorry
Or
to
Klingon.
um or Klingon, whichever you prefer.
Jill, I forget. Do you have a profile on Twitter?
Yes, we follow each other.
I'm trying to tag you in a post about this stream now, and I'm failing to find you. What is the what is it?
I will post it in the
Antiderivative
chat.
1.
Antiderivative 1. That's where I'm going wrong. I was putting the Jill in, and nothing was happening.
Jill's Twitter or X, whichever you prefer, is in the private chat, and I will post it in
Thank
the
you,
public.
Jessica. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Perfect. Let's copy that.
But when it does come to this episode, considering the screen currently, So you're saying that Ben Sisko had a sister, you say?
We
She
never do
conveniently
meet her,
went
do
away.
we? Yeah, right. And then there's also insinuations that his dad is dead, like for a while, but they don't outright say it, so he gets to live later.
Yes, and thank heavens we get the brilliant Brock Peters as Joseph Sisko.
Absolutely, Joseph is awesome.
Yes.
DS9 is Star Trek at its finest, he says. Thank you for your words.
Totally agree.
Isaiah Taylor, hello from Tallahassee, Florida.
Hey, Tallahassee. Thanks, Isaiah. Good to see you.
Now do the Voyager theme, but please don't attempt the Enterprise theme.
It's been a long road.
Ah!
Getting from there to here.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst. That's the worst Star Trek theme ever.
Hey, it's my ringtone.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Enterprise and that theme came on. I was like, huh? What?
Yeah, did you both like go, what?
Oh man, it just, well, especially after Voyager. Like, Voyager is far from my favorite Trek, but at least it had a nice theme, right?
Yeah, the music.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't
Enterprise,
know.
yike.
There was something about, like, and I wasn't a fan of Enterprise until much later, but there was something that got me giddy when it was premiering that I could hear, because they put Faith of the Heart in rotation on radios. And
Really?
yeah, I think, and it
Wow.
must have been promotional to try and get people to watch Enterprise. And so I would be at a pub, and then all of a sudden Faith of the Heart would come on, and it was only for the couple of, like, the month that led up to the release of Enterprise, and it waned after it premiered. But I always got a little tickled, and I was like, none of these people know that they're listening to a Star Trek theme.
Oh, yeah. So you had it inside. You had it inside information. The most people were unaware of why they had to listen to this.
Yes.
This '90s sitcom song.
Yeah, but now as a trivia point, TOS theme has lyrics as well,
Yes.
but nobody sings them.
Well, wasn't that written by Roddenberry though to
Yeah.
cash in, so to
Oh
speak?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of an add-on. I always thought of the lyrics in TOS, or the original series, as an add-on lyrically, but
And Gene Roddenberry was a brilliant futurist, if you will, and in terms of his philosophy. But as a lyricist, he left something to be desired.
Yeah, I
the
kind of
lyrics to the original series, they're clunky at best.
I prefer
They were
just
never meant to be sung.
yeah, I just prefer the music as it is in TOS. Just the music, no lyrics, thank you.
I know
And
they're
Shatner, Shatner's narration at the start.
Let's see if we can find the lyrics.
well. I know that they're not so cool anymore. But there was one time where Tenacious D did sing those lyrics during one of their concerts. The Star Trek lyrics for the original series.
Oh yeah,
As written by Gene Roddenberry to allow him to get some money from Alexander Courage. Okay, so there's a question here. What exactly happened in California that was halted from the Star Trek episode? I didn't quite get it. So this is something that was this is something in the Deep Space Nine companion, and also from Star Trek Communicator issue 102, and it says that there was an article in the LA Times that the mayor proposed that homeless people in the city could be moved into fenced-in areas to make downtown Los Angeles friendlier to businesses. And Alexander Siddig said, okay, this was now we're moving on to the communicator issue. He says, it turned out that past tense was the best timing of all because the LA City Council is actually trying to set up something called sanctuaries in LA for the homeless people right now which are enclosed areas where they wish to put all the homeless people. The anti-sanctuary people saw our show and were astounded to see that someone had done this. It's a happening thing. And at the moment, this is sanctuaries are going to be developed in LA. And I guess in retrospect, Siddig later commented further on the coincidence. The episode was almost a cinematic version of that statement by the LA Council. So that's, I guess, that didn't happen because of this episode, I think. I mean, that's what I get from this.
Yeah, because I remember, let's see, a few years back, like maybe 2 years before the coup, there were online articles about how prophetic that episode was that I had saw, and I don't know if I can't remember if they mentioned whether or not, that proposal from LA, but it kind of caught everybody that, yeah. And I mean, even me, I was like, damn, they're actually gonna try that, you know, just cordoning off people in spots.
Well, this is a prison for people who weren't even criminals, and the only
Yeah,
other time this episode makes me think of Escape from New York, except that was a place full of criminals. So
now this would actually be that would act this would actually be worse than Escape
yeah,
from New York, because
right.
you broke the law. That's why you ended up on Manhattan Island. See, here, I mean, you lose your job and run out of money. They stick you over here so nobody can see you.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep referring to keeping those people off of the streets. And there are 3 different classes that live in the sanctuary districts. You've got the dims, the gimmies, and the ghosts. The ghosts are the criminals. The gimmies are basically just the homeless. And the dims are the mentally ill. And so it was a catch-all for not only the problem of homelessness and unemployment, but also, instead of having to deal with the very real consequences of mental illness or criminality, you basically just herded the undesirables behind these walls.
Well, and the interesting
It's
thing is that
completely
the
unfair.
ones who became criminals in this sanctuary district weren't criminals before. They just didn't adapt to having to live this way and turned to that way of living, and in that way. And it's
Yeah, I can
it's
imagine.
really it they're pigeonholing people in certain aspects, like you said, the classism.
Well, I can
And
imagine if you're forced to live that way, that people would start to go into survival mode, so to speak, right? So it makes sense. Just like in the real
yeah,
world today.
it's hard to
You know?
believe that somebody would actually do this kind of thing, but then like Glendale was saying, during the lockdowns, they had quarantines in some places,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
which
yeah.
is really creepy.
Yeah, luckily it didn't happen in my neck of the woods, but I did hear about it, yeah.
Well, and unfortunately, it's a reality in Southern Ontario. I know in Hamilton and Toronto, there are tent cities, and they've been trying to relocate them to different sections of those respective cities. It is like it was hard to watch these 2 episodes, just in terms of how on the nose it really was. And when
Yeah.
I saw this was the 2-parter. Season 3 of Deep Space Nine is really when I started to get back into Deep Space Nine. I kind of gave up for the first 2 seasons because I didn't like Kai Wynn or Veda Quinn. And finally getting to this part, I think that around here is really, actually it was Defiant, which is 2 episodes before this, and that's the Tom Riker one. And that's what really got me back into it in a full-fledged. I was watching them and taping them. And I think this is really when,
And
to
everyone
coin a
promised,
phrase, I think this is when Deep Space Nine grew its beard.
and everyone promised that they're going to save Thomas Riker one day. What they did,
Yeah.
But I want to say hello to Canadian Spider-Man. Also, he's here.
Thanks, Spidey.
And Lombardi 1969. And thank you for posting Mr. Londell Groovy Movies YouTube channel. Make sure to tune in on Saturday to this channel for a special watch party that is sure to actually turn into just a regular party.
Well,
Party
maybe.
Like an Club.
Yes, it's our tribute to Bird of Prey 5. We start off with his favorite Star Trek movie, and we end with his least favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Love it.
We had fun with him with the Indiana Jones movie, so we thought it would be a fitting tribute.
I think so. It's a good story.
Yeah. So get ready, join us, and when we get to the second movie, there'll be a lot of places where we're going to take shots.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I love shots.
It's funny that we're doing this on the date of the actual event depicted, because yesterday's date is also the date in the Terminator films that Skynet comes online and takes over the world. So it's a proper time travel week this week. It's yeah,
but and I absolutely agree with you. There was a little bit of I had a conversation with Jill about it, and I was like, "Oh, we should do Terminator 2 on the Friday," and she was like, "You can't. It's the Bell riots." And I was like, "Oh, you have a very good point." Because while Judgment Day takes place in 1997, this takes place literally today.
Yeah, it's the exact date, isn't it?
Yeah, so we had to pick one, and I want to make sure to say hello to William Shakespeare. He's here too.
Hey,
great that you're here.
Yeah, I think you chose wisely to pick this one, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Episodes in a really long time.
I didn't get a chance to rewatch them, but I remember them well enough because I've probably seen them at least 3 or 4 times over the years. So they're still, they're still in my memory banks, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes, and Hakeem is here too. Hello to Hakeem.
Hey, Hakeem. And Penny. And Kimberly Ann Hart.
Hi, everybody in the
Kimberly
chat.
Ann Hart's here. Suzanne.
Hi, all. Hey, Suzanne.
Claude Parrish is here.
Hi, Suzanne.
Oh, Claude. Great. Thank you. Thank you for helping out. I hadn't got there yet.
And Suzanne.
Yeah, there he is. Claude. And Suzanne can't stay, but she wanted to leave a like and say hello and to have a great stream. Thank you very much, Suzanne. I hope you have a great Friday, great weekend, and just have a good day. And yes, and hello to Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. So the California mayor wanted to put homeless people in concentration camps of a sort. Got it. Yeah, I didn't look up the name of this particular mayor, but it turns out it happened. Turns out that almost happened. I know Jill never altered the past. Yes, I do. Yes, that's why I don't go back in time. It's very dangerous.
Well, I'm just happy that none of the hundreds of people that died in the Bell riots, neither Cisco nor Bashir fell in love with one of them and then had to see them tragically shot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, yeah, we did not end up with the city on the edge of forever problem here. Although
But
there
there
is a
is
reference to it.
there is a city on the edge of forever reference. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Which we will get to. Something to look forward to. Let's hold that one for a minute and let's get into the episode. Because everybody thinks they're going to a symposium, and except for O'Brien thinks he can get out of it because he's enlisted. He's enlisted, so he's and of course Odo and Kira, they're like, nah, this is for Starfleet. And this whole intro is just about the premise that they are going to go to the symposium that they're not going to go to. So the Grand Nagus is speaking through Quark here, or Quark saying, "Remember how important the Ferengi were in diplomatic relations with the Dominion? Is that something that's starting to brew at this early stage?"
Nagus' nephew.
Oh yeah, the Nagus' nephew's in trouble, and maybe Cisco can help Belongo out of trouble. I think that's his name.
And we do get 2 rules of acquisition. I
We
forget
do.
the numbers, but we do get what is it? Treat people in your debt like family, exploit them, and you cannot free a fish from water.
Well, that last one I totally agree with. Yes.
I hate that we have never gotten a complete list of the rules of acquisition.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
is that there in the law somewhere? It's not out there.
Not officially, no.
Right.
There is a website that lists all of the known rules of acquisition.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a Society of Quark somewhere on Facebook that's probably...
What the hell is the symposium? It's kind of like a conference, or just like a gathering, or like a convention.
Yeah.
Yes, symposium.
His favorite character.
According to Merriam-Webster, is a meeting or conference for discussion of a topic, especially one in which the participants form an audience and make presentations.
So it's like a focus topic, so to speak. Then. That makes sense.
Yeah, Cisco was supposed to talk about the Gamma Quadrant. What's the deal with the Gamma Quadrant? So the working title for this episode was Cold and Distant Stars. It was just going to be about Cisco ending up homeless and his experience time traveling, because Wolf wanted to have some commentary on the homeless, but it didn't have enough story. It didn't have enough Star Trek in it. And so Ira Steven Behr came up with the idea of the districts and the riots to tie it into the universe better.
Yeah. They needed a draconian scenario, I think.
Well, and also he was playing on the fact that, of course, there were you've got to go through some major turmoil on Earth before you get to the utopia part, and leading up to World War III, which I think some of the people at the cocktail parties hint at when they talk about Europe being on fire.
Mm-hmm. The neo-Trotskys.
But that's something they have kind of messed over so many times, because the Augment War was like in the 90s, and according to TOS, that was a world war.
Yeah, that was eugenics war, if I remember correctly.
That by itself. So at this point, the I mean, the world should be in shambles anyway.
Well, I don't know
I mean,
if
well, to me,
I don't
they
know if
never
the world
really.
should be in shambles.
Well, it would because okay, with the with the with the exception of the United States after the first two world wars, the world was in shambles. Okay, because it was fought just about everywhere but these two, the North and South America, and it would be the same. But I mean, because you think now, uh, people like Khan wouldn't do something to weaken the U.S. to try to to try to not maybe not to keep them out, but weaken any response, lessen their ability to respond to what they were doing.
Well, and not, but also in reference to the original series, don't forget that our heroes in Space Seed sort of had an admiration for Khan Noonien Singh, and he was the best of the tyrants. And so I would assume that that had something to do with actually saving lives. Like he was not a good man, but he was a benevolent tyrant.
But that's the worst kind.
Yeah, I know, right? I live in
See,
Canada.
see, but I mean, because a benevolent tyrant, so you have, I mean, that sounds so much like an attention whore.
But
And
when you say the world would be in shambles, like even
yeah,
post World War One and World War Two, there were certainly very affected areas, and I don't want to like diminish the destruction, but there were also places that were more just sort of choked of resources, but infrastructure was still standing strong.
The thing
Like,
is, too, the eugenics wars took place in the 1990s, right?
yes.
hmm
So this is taking place in our current day of 2024. So that's say roughly maybe a 30-year gap between the eugenics war and
Mhm.
this. So I remember after World War II, I mean, Germany was in rubble basically, but I mean, the world came in and rebuilt it, right? And I think within 30 years, it was getting back on its feet, so to speak, right? So I could see this scenario as being plausible, actually. Given that number of decades in between the war and now, so to
Well, and
speak.
not only that, but in terms of what is being depicted here in what is supposed to be a fictional pre-dystopia, is that this would have been Earth's response to the eugenic wars as well, is just herd people away out of sight and contain for elimination, which is what happens here. And the only thing that saves them is Gabriel Bell protecting the hostages and making sure that their word gets out that they're not criminals. They're just regular people looking for work. One guy moved to San Francisco to work in a brewery. I worked in a brewery and I've been laid off. I could be in a
It seems more
sanctuary
like they
district.
didn't learn from the war that they just had.
Mhm.
yeah. If what Scotty was saying is the case, yeah, they didn't learn.
No.
See,
Well, it's
Well,
just
and
like
that,
see,
we don't
people
learn from
forget.
wars either.
Well, see, people forget. That's why we fought World War II. We didn't
mhm.
learn from World War One.
Well, but there's historically also there is an argument that World War One and World War Two are basically just the continuation of the same conflict.
Well, the thing is that the terms of a settlement in World War One to get the peace punished Germany so severely that I mean, you look what happened with the inflation rates in Germany, and it was primed for a dictator to come along and take advantage of the situation. Unfortunately, right? So that's why that's basically I think why the Second World War happened. It was, as you say, Scotty. It really wasn't a way of continuation.
Yeah,
More or
the
less.
Treaty of Versailles was best of both worlds, part one, And then
Yeah,
we
it
continue.
was not good for Germany.
The exciting conclusion of that story was the beginning of World War.
So to mention something about the episode, I think the man prodding the gun. Sorry, I'm sorry to bring it back off topic, but I believe his actor Dick Miller, who is a very well-known character actor. He was, funnily enough, he was in Terminator, sells Arnie the guns in the gun store, and I think he's one of these two cops.
Yeah.
Dick Miller. Is that him there? That's Dick Miller there?
That's that guy is Al Rod. That's Al Rodrigo, who's another character actor still working today, and that's Dick Miller, who sadly is no longer with us.
Oh, okay.
Who was also in Gremlins. And,
this fellow here. Okay.
Yeah, never stopped working. Really, he was supposed to be a real joy to have on a set. Really well liked by a lot of people. So always getting parts and things.
It really made his mark in Roger Corman films.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he just wants to get home to his kids. I want to catch up a bit on the chat too. We had Mega Cropper saying Rule 284 deep down everyone's a Ferengi. Interesting. And Kronos says it sounds like Mr. Lovedale. Yes, it is. It is.
Yes, Kronos, I am here.
He's here. And Apex says, Nana, visitor, the alien grandma. What? It's great to see you, Apex Comics. I don't know. I guess she's a grandma now? I don't know. He must know something about the lore for Kira that I don't know. LDG, hello. Great. He says it's a great episode. And
hey, LDG.
Mega Cropper says, "Hey Franco, looks like Jill's got the A team on the panel for Star Trek Friday. Not sure about the new guy though." Wait, what?
Wow.
Who's the new guy?
Gosh.
I think
you must be talking about Scotty.
It must be me.
Yeah,
I'm pretty green.
I'm sorry. I should have pre-read that before I read that out loud. I love everybody on this panel.
They just mean it as a joke. It's fine.
Yeah. No, Mega Cropper.
He's on our side.
Yeah, he's a good troll. It's just he's like Cronus, but a little more spicier.
Like
spikier. Abrasive, maybe. I
like abrasive.
Oh, talking. Kronos is talking about the memorial, and I'm right there with you, Kronos. When Mom Prey started to talk, that's when I lost it too.
Yeah, I think we all did.
I know when I lost it when I saw Joe's casket. That's when I lost it. My heart just dropped because. It's like every funeral I've ever been to. Somehow it's not real until I walk into the room and I see the person's casket, and then it just hits me like a sledgehammer. And it did again yesterday. It was the same feeling I had. It always hits me that way.
Well, your heart can be in denial until you actually see it.
Exactly, and then the finality of it hits you all of a sudden. Yes, exactly, Jill.
And
I can only hope to carry his memory.
But okay, so the reason why Cisco, Dax, and Bashir are in 2024 to begin with is because something went wrong with the transporter. There's chronotons or something going on.
No, there was so because of the cloaking
there was a
Defiant that mixed. There are chronotons that mixed with the ablative plating. Although I don't think they call it ablative plating. They talk about the armor on the Defiant. And so the mixture of that is what spiked the transporter malfunction. And also there was a
micro something.
A micro fissure in the space-time continuum or something that was passing through the solar system at the time, combined with the chronotons from the cloaking device,
I love it.
And the armor on the Defiant, and that's what did it. But I feel like everybody is very, very calm about this situation. Like, even when it's like, O'Brien says, "Oh, that's funny. They beamed down, but they never materialized. Well, what's going on, man?"
Just another day for O'Brien.
And O'Brien's like, I'm looking into it. I don't think they're dead. I don't know where they did. I don't know where they materialized.
Oh man.
Well, they didn't want to jump. Well, because the reason why is because O'Brien says, "I know I sent them somewhere." He's unsure of himself.
Yeah.
Are they dead? Well, I'm pretty sure they're not.
With all the transport accidents he has, it's amazing he still has a job.
Yeah. Now, actually, that has to be the only time that he was unsure. He's usually quite sure about and confident about what happened and what he needs to do to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
He was really flummoxed at this moment. If you just think about it, since the time he set foot on Terok Noah, okay, he was confident he could figure things out. But with this, he was like, "I'm sure I sent them somewhere. I'm positive they're not dead." Stuff. He usually doesn't say things like that.
Well, because he has to actively discover a whole new method of time travel in this episode, which is used later in Voyager somehow.
Yeah. This is an engineer, people, not a physicist doing this. Okay, so
yeah, but also it's kind of like, so let's say you're using a microwave. You're cooking dinner, and you use your internet, and you're watching YouTube while you microwave your dinner, and YouTube stops, and then the microwave beeps. Your ravioli is done, and then YouTube starts up again. And it's like, oh, okay, so I shouldn't watch YouTube and use the microwave at the same time because then that'll cut out the internet, whatever. It's kind of like that. So it's like, how do I fix this problem? Okay, I have to look at external factors. And it's like, why isn't it working? Oh, it's very humid today. The Wi-Fi is off. Okay. Like, I've done that myself. And so I do appreciate O'Brien. I'm gonna stand by O'Brien at any chance I can.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I like the fact that he decides it. He's like, no. The mechanism and considering transporter accidents, he's like, no, the transporter's fine. I did everything I was supposed to do. It finished the transportation cycle. So like they materialized. I can guarantee that based on years of materializing people. So I do trust O'Brien in this. I just think it's funny how lackadaisical he is about it. It's like everything worked. They're down there somewhere. When. All right.
It takes them a while to get there, though. It's kind of a bit of a mystery that they drag out throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
So slowly Cisco paid attention in history class, luckily for everybody here in this episode. And so he realizes where they are, when they are, and when they mention Sanctuary District, and they're asked for their papers, their identification, very, very fascist kind of things. But Dax is, asleep at the subway, and she has a little bit of a better time. She has a little bit of a better time than.
Which reminds me of a song. Don't sleep in the subway, darling. Don't get caught in the pouring rain.
But it was to her benefit this time.
Yes.
I just thought of that same song when you mentioned that, Scotty. That's amazing.
Yes. I love that song. Petula Clark.
Petula Clark, she was awesome in the 60s. Yeah.
Yes.
I've never heard of this.
I will send it to you post haste.
Yeah. She's great.
It should be Petula Clark's stuff should be all over YouTube.
Well, I'm going to put it in the public chat, and anyone who wants to hear the great 1960s song "Don't Sleep in the Subway" by Petula Clark, you can click at your leisure.
You should send it to Jill there, Scotty. She should hear it. It's a really great song.
Well,
really
I will.
Guest stars for this episode are Jim Metzler. I like that they put the guest stars at the front here.
Yes.
Yes.
Frank Military as BC. Oh my God, his name is Frank Military. Okay, BC
I know, right? I didn't get a chance to look him up. I wanted to see if he had been in anything else because he gets a very special distinction in the opening of both 2 episodes.
I mean,
that's gotta be he plays Kid Rock.
That's got to be a stage name.
Yeah, that's the guy with the hat.
This actor's been around for ages. It's Jim Metzler, who's a well-known character actor. And he's been in things like Beauty and the Beast and all kinds of stuff. Great, really nice guy in real life as well.
Cool. That's good. That's good to know. He definitely plays a convincing character in this episode.
He looks like Gandalf now. He's got massive jet white hair.
Oh wow!
Big beard.
And the great Dick Miller.
Yeah,
I love Dick Miller.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Futterman from the Gremlins movies, and he was also the gun dealer in Terminator 1. He's been in many things. He was in the wasn't he in the original Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This episode, this 2-parter actually has a first-class cast because you've also got a young Tina Lifford in it, who is the lead in her own massive drama show that's on like 5 seasons now. And then there's character actor Bill Smitrovich, who you recognise him as soon as you see him. He's played generals and policemen in absolutely everything, always playing coppers and detectives, and that kind of stuff.
And I'm curious, and maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't Bill Smitrovich the dad in Life Goes On?
He may well have been. He was one of the military generals in Under Siege.
And Independence Day.
Was in The Last Ship. He was in Air Force One.
He's everywhere. He's great. This is just such a cavalcade of character actors who are
it's a
so
great
good.
cast lineup for this 2-parter. Really solid actors.
I'm trying to place the guy's face now. Because everything you mentioned, I've seen at least 4 times.
Yeah, he's the grumpy general on back home at Air Force One when they're coming up with all the different scenarios. He's with the White House staff, I think.
I always get him mixed up with the guy who played Eraserhead.
Yeah, not the same guy.
Not the same guy.
No.
It's my mistake.
No, don't think so.
Webb. Okay, Webb, that's the guy that gets killed. The one guy that gets killed when they raid.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
Played by Bill. Wait, what's the
Smitrovich.
last? Bill
Smitrovich.
Where?
And if you get a credit like that on a show, if you get an "and" credit, that's always out of respect to the actor. They're not top billed, but they're respected in the industry. So it's like on the old shows in the 70s when it used to say "and special guest star," but they don't do that now. They just have "and." But it's considered one above everything except the leads. So people like having that credit.
And he played Drew Thatcher on Life Goes On, which was the family drama from 1989. Excuse me.
That's Chris Brenner guy is helping Jadzia Dax.
And he is immediately attracted to her spots.
Yes. Yeah, her tattoos. The teleplay for this episode is written by Robert Hewitt Wolf, with the story by credit for Robert Hewitt Wolf and Ira Stephen Bear. So they worked on it together.
I always like Robert Hewitt Wolf's stories most of the time. I thought he wrote some really good stuff over the years. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't know what you guys think of him.
Yeah, they did have a good writing room for this. It evolved into a great writing room for this series. It really didn't start until the guy with the blue beard showed up. So.
Yeah, when I went to the 50th Star Trek convention, I was surprised to see how many people cosplayed as Ira Stephen Bear and colored their beards blue. So, also it was directed by Reza Badie. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not, but Eugene Bird is here. Whenever someone says Denise Richards on the internet, I'm alerted on my iPhone. What's going on here? Did somebody say Denise Richards?
Don't know, but I think this actor I worked with is married to her now, if I remember rightly.
Kimberly mentioned her. Denise Richards as as Dax. Taps badge Kira? Anyone? Oh.
Yeah, I think she's married to JJ Field, I think.
Gavin says special guest star means they get more money than a regular star. It's why sometimes permanent cast were named as guest stars so they could be paid more than the union normally allowed. Oh, really? Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I was thinking Jonathan Harrison Lost in Space because he was always the special guest star every week.
And then he's like, thanks. I'll go away now. Have fun. Okay. Okay, thanks for flying by, Eugene. Oh, they're checking the Heisenberg compensators.
Oh, well, that means something really wrong. They got to check the Heisenberg doohickeys.
That's great. I do love Star Trek Technobabble is just the best. It's just great. They do it so well.
Well, they do it so well because they're not just saying the words. They actually try to have some kind of thought behind it.
And there's a lot of real physics based in some of that.
Yeah, some of it.
I imagine
like Heisenberg. Okay, that's a real theory that compensator makes up for.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's the idea that you can't know where a particle is if you know how fast it's going. You can only know one or the other.
I imagine they must have had like a guidebook written for the actors with the technobabble like laid out so it was organized. I'm guessing. Like I don't know if such a thing actually exists, but I could imagine it being an actual little book they had for the cast, right? Because they always seem consistent. They seem consistent, right?
Yeah, it would have to be, but I mean because the real technobabble really started with Next Generation.
Well, there'd be some sort of Bible that would come with the show, I would imagine. It's like the lights on the bridge and stuff on all the sets. They all actually do something. So if you touch a button, it is connected to something that does something, as in lights up something somewhere like a display or whatever. So that we're always having to tell the extras not to just like touch random buttons unless it's in the scene, because they usually do something.
They could be blowing up the ship.
That's right. They could be activating the hidden laser cannon in the film studio.
They just killed their the Andorian guests or something.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere once where the TOS cast actually got into it so much the actors actually sort of memorized the buttons on the consoles, and they'd actually push the right button when they were doing a scene, which I thought was kind of cool when I read about that.
It is cool, and then Galaxy Quest pays tribute to that by doing the same thing, and how the actors actually have to act the way they did on the show in order for the ship to work.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, Eugene Bird is leaving a present before he goes. Oh. Thank you so much, Eugene. Have a peaceful weekend, all. You
Have
too.
a good weekend there, Eugene.
Okay, so, but when there's a super chat, I've got to play something. Let's see what I have today.
Make it good, Jill.
Please, Spock, do me a favor.
I'm sorry.
And don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.
Love that clip.
I love the eye roll. Bones eye roll is great.
Where are you? Here we are.
Absolutely smashing.
Very good. Welcome back.
Sorry, my parents are in the south of France, and they called. And when someone calls you from the south of France, you answer.
Oh my goodness, they're in France.
Wow, that's cool.
Jill, forgive me. I think my dinner might be ready, so I'll be muted.
Oh,
I'm not. I don't have to leave, but I'll
okay.
be muted
You don't
while
have
I'm
to leave.
eating.
Okay, fair enough. When you get back, we should be further along, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, by the
Sorry
time
for my voice.
you should be at least one more line of dialogue along in the episode.
Yeah.
My voice, my yeah, right.
Welcome to Friday.
Well, my voice might be a little off because I've been sick lately, but hopefully everything's okay. So this is the part where he's talking about the chronoton particles, and he's trying to figure out where they come from. Scotty already explained all of it, though, so we're pretty good on that.
I wonder how much this happens to Romulan crews. Because if it's, or Klingon crews, if it's the cloaking device and the hull, I guess the X factor is the little singularity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So do you think the Romulans get thrown back in time accidentally on a more regular frequency?
I don't know, because they use cloaking devices more. It's an oddity for a Federation ship to have a cloaking device, and that's what is part of the problem. So that's why I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, and also it's I love the introduction of hey, Daniel. Star Trek Deep Space Nine almost got an 8th season. Well, and they do sort of touch on the writing, or they propose an opener to DS9 season 8 in the documentary. I want to say What You Leave Behind, but I think that's
What We Leave Behind. Yes,
that's it.
Go ahead, Mr. Lockdown.
What I really wanted from DS9 was a movie.
Yeah, or at least a crossover. Like if they did a TNG DS9 movie, I would have been so happy. And it would have been like, it would be about the return of Sisko.
Yeah, they could have done that too. Because, I mean, they did have Picard, in the first episode of DS9, did they not? So, yeah, they could have done a crossover quite easily.
And it would have, that would have been so cool to see Picard be the one to facilitate whatever adventure that Sisko was on. And thusly, like, we get Sisko forgiving his demon, which is the Borg, because we already got that from First Contact with Picard. So it would have been a cool thing, but instead we got dune buggies.
Oh, yeah. That's too bad. See, Star Trek could have gone in a more interesting way. Well, also I want to say hello to Max Redstone.
Max
here. Also, Raymond Feliciano from King Dolphin TV.
What's going on, Raymond?
On Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yes. So long, and thanks for the fish.
Be a pod person.
Oh, but Raymond is a Deep Space Nine fan. If you're not working today, Raymond, let me know and I'll send you a link. But usually you're working. For TNG, Michael Okuda told each actor that the Elcar's computer panels were all customized per character, so no matter what buttons they pushed, they were always correct.
I love that. That's why I use an Android phone instead of an Apple phone, is so I can customize my buttons.
Oh, I've got an AI character on my phone now, and I kid you not, I actually and someone was on my channel. I asked them if they knew this person. They did, and then that person came on the chat and they started conversing with them like they were a real person.
Oh, nice.
Like a living Wikipedia. So I bet if I asked it right now, have you heard of the YouTube channel Anti-Derivative Jill? It will probably come back with a response.
Oh, no.
Isn't that nuts?
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the future.
Yeah, that is. The singularity is new. Oh my goodness.
I might go mute myself and quickly check.
So
There we go.
DS9 is Star Trek at its finest, but let's be honest, DS9 is also a ripoff of Babylon 5. Well, they did kind of get a peek at the
Yeah, Straczynski got a bit of money out of them for that. That's a true story. He pitched it to them first, and then they told him to go away, and then they decided that's a good idea for a Star Trek show. But he took them to court over that. He took them to court.
To me, DS9 is still a standalone show.
I agree.
I mean, you can make all those comparisons between it and B5. DS9 took the same concept and went and did much better with it than Babylon 5.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the idea on the space station, really, and then it's separate universes entirely, isn't it? So it's just,
and I can point to hundreds of movies that take place on a space station.
Yeah.
So where does the comparison end? Okay. You owe this Japanese company because Toho did a couple of movies that took place on space stations.
Jill, Clint Howard is in this episode as well.
I do, and he has a great scene. I love his scene.
Yeah, so it's kind of full circle from him being in the second Star Trek pilot,
That's right. Clint Howard, he plays the dim, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's right. And the one who thinks they're aliens. But there really are aliens. He's actually right.
They are.
Him and Ron Howard have written a really excellent biography, and they wrote it together, and they did alternating chapters each. So they're commenting on each other as well as they grew up. It's a really good book.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just saying, Raymond, I sent you a Twitter DM with the link to the stream if you are so inclined to talk about this incredibly dystopian, awful future that Star Trek has presented.
Yeah, well, Scotty, I did too, but thank you for sending it. I failed to announce that I sent it.
Well, I just wanted him to check. I don't know what he's paying attention to.
That's true. Makes sense. Thank you so much for communicating that. Max says, I'm just lurking and listening while driving. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific, will be the Max Redstone Show, episode 2, with Hungry Boy drone videos and a cooking bit. Wow. Sweet. I'm going to have to make sure I check that out. Thank you so much. I know my tomorrow is going to be wild, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully I can make that. Lance says, where the future predictions become true. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dax gets taken care of and the guys get nothing. Oh, is this a commentary on how it pays to be?
Well, I think it's a nice detail that even their rank pips are gone. Like they just, and like Starfleet uniforms don't have pockets. So I do like how they were, of everything that they had, communicators and pips.
And welcome to the panel to Raymond from King Dolphin TV. How are you today?
Raymond.
I'm doing well. Just
welcome, Raymond.
Okay, I'm doing a bunch of echo.
I love sounding like an AM radio host. Have you tried turning down your YouTube tab?
Okay, I'm here now.
Sweet.
Hello, all.
Hello.
Turn off the radio.
Hello.
Hi.
One as well.
We are.
Hi.
As well as we can be.
Well, I'm all the way at the beginning of the episode where Bashir and Cisco are now sure they're in San Francisco.
Yes, they saw the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, and Dax is talking to the Chris Brenner of Brenner Information Systems. He's like he's a really famous media personality.
Really? Oh no, in the movie or in the show.
Yeah, in the show.
Who's the actor? Because I never saw him ever again.
You never saw him ever again.
Let me see. I'll look up the IMDb for the episode.
His name is Jim Metzler.
Because I never saw him in anything.
I think he's one of those guys that had a lot of work like in the 90s.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
Yeah, it looks like he's the kind of actor that shows up in one episode of everything.
Yeah.
Oh right, no, Lance was talking about him. He looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski now, but thinner. Oh, he was in L.A. Confidential, so I would have seen that. Oh, he was in Mad Men. I definitely saw Mad Men. In fact,
yeah, but he was in just one episode.
Yeah, but still, I love Mad Men. John Hamm. That's, you know what? I wish Chris were played by John Hamm. Maybe he was a little too young for this, but.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
but
yeah,
anyway,
no, I'm crazy. I've seen him play a lawyer in like a lot of stuff. Moving on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we've got to get to the paperwork. We've got to get our fingerprints scanned. We've got to figure out what our identity is and find out that we're not in the system whatsoever. It's like we don't even exist.
I would like to point out that I am very happy that the internet works better than in Star Trek 2024. I prefer my interface. I don't like styluses.
Yeah, I just got to say that screen there looked pretty clunky for 2024.
Well, and did you notice that all of the signs are like the Macintosh font from that whenever this episode was made?
Oh, really? Okay. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, I just noticed that myself. It was
like all of it, all of the signage is like San Francisco is owned by Apple, which is kind of prophetic as well.
Well, they got a lot of prediction of today right, but some of the stuff they did definitely get not right because that tech looked really dated.
No, I know, but I felt it was good enough. I'm surprised that they.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just being nitpicky.
Sure.
I'm just being
sure. Yeah, me too.
Kira's being careful. Nobody can use the transporter. They have to use shuttlecraft if they want to come to the Defiant.
Which brought me to a question. Does the Defiant have a shuttle bay?
Oh.
Yes, it does.
I guess it does.
Yes,
does
it does.
I've never seen the shuttle bay door, and I'm ignorant to this. So you guys have the con.
It was in the one, the season 6, penultimate episode, The Sound of Her Voice. They actually show a shuttlecraft leaving the Defiant when they go to the planet.
Holy moly.
The Defiant is not supposed to be that big.
Right. That's what weirded me out.
They figured it. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. It's on screen. Thank you, Jill.
Yep, the sound
you
of her
mentioned
voice.
it, so I wanted to find it.
And that's why we come here. Thank you.
Oh,
for all of you. Come on. This is great. I love talking about Star Trek. It's one of my favorite things.
And Lee says, always find it funny watching TNG and they have stacks of data pads. Like they have a separate iPad for every document. Yeah, they use tablets like paper.
Yes. And we can make up a million reasons why. Especially if they're like classified documents. Maybe it has to be a secure transmission and you can't have multiple tabs open.
Yeah, they're also recycled, so they just keep using the same ones, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. They can just replicate them.
And you rarely see them on DS9, and you never see them on Voyager.
Oops, where was I? Let's see. Okay. And so they're filling out paper. Well, and there's something about this guy who's trying to draw all over
everybody.
Yeah, and then he starts drawing on this other guy, and he's actually kind of happy about it. I kind of just like this exchange. There's no words spoken in it, but it's interesting.
Well, and it is, I think it's a brilliant visual cue to make us understand that there are mentally deficient or handicapable, if you will. I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but like there are mentally ill individuals who are in the sanctuary district, and instead of acting with revulsion or anything, like Cisco actually wants to help the man, and all he wants is to do what he was doing. And Cisco doesn't like get up all in his face like the guy with the hat. JC.
Well, it's nice that scene, the mentally ill man is portrayed as not being scary or dangerous or nasty.
Yeah.
He's just portrayed as a man that has mental issues, psychological problems.
And Cisco is gentle with him, and possibly that's, I think maybe that is why I like it.
So that's real Star Trek to me. Like that scene is real Star Trek.
Yeah. Just that moment it's like, this is how Starfleet. Yeah. We don't lie. We're Starfleet. Sorry to quote Wesley.
And it doesn't go, it doesn't go into a stereotypical thing. Right? Hey, there's the clock. Yay, clap, clap.
Hey, what day is it?
August 30th.
Yes, 2024.
Yeah. Oh, that's tomorrow.
Oh, no, it's today.
It's today.
It's today.
It's today.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And it is 15 degrees Celsius.
You know what, Mr. Waddell? I noticed that myself, and Jill was like, "Don't bring it up." And I was like, "Okay." 15 degrees Celsius. First of all, we've got the United States adopting Celsius, and I don't see that happening.
Guys, they were close. They were close.
How much is it?
It is 17 degrees Celsius in San Francisco.
This is getting
maybe
scary.
This is later in the day, so it drops 2 degrees. So this could actually be accurate.
I was going to say, check the temperature in a few hours. It might match up.
This is getting spooky, guys.
This is so good. I love it.
Well, my question though is, do they have to walk around all the mines that are left on the sidewalks?
Are there mines on the sidewalks? And you mean the poop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it looks like there would be poop in the sanctuary districts. So yeah, no, still accurate. I love how Julian says, because Cisco's piecing it together. And it does come back, and it's part of his character in terms of him being sort of fascinated with the 20th and the 21st century. But Cisco asks Julian and says, "Do you know anything about early 21st century history?" And Julian is like, "Kind of. Not one of my favorite things. It's a bummer. I don't like it. It's too depressing. I don't read about this time in human history." And I find that fascinating.
He's an Ogman. He should know it by memory.
Yes, especially in light of it.
Well, he is a doctor. He's been doing other things, maybe to distract him from the history of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a doctor, not a historian.
Well, he's probably like McCoy. He probably finds medicine in this time period to be quite primitive still. So. Yeah.
Oh, he says he could have saved Gabriel. Oh, spoilers. Could have saved Gabriel Bell if he only had a med kit, or even if he had been able to get him to a hospital. If there was an ambulance, then Julian.
Yeah, so it did seem like he does know medical history very specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's talking about how Gabriel Bell is going to be part of these riots, and he's going to help. He's going to help things. Let's see. Wait, let me get to the transcript.
Well, it's because, well, even if you want to do the transcript, then my memory of it.
Yeah. Okay. You can have a memory. Go ahead.
Well, it's from what I understand, Gabriel Bell helps save the 6 hostages and gets into the network to make it so that the people who reside in the sanctuary district their stories can get out so that people realize that they're not criminals and vagrants, and like there are actual families who are struggling. And that's part of the reason why they are sort of revolting, because they can't leave without jobs, but they can't go anywhere to get jobs. And the bureaucracy is essentially not trying to help, because
keeping
as
them trapped.
Webb says,
both,
Webb says that he's there because he was told that there would be jobs, but he didn't go on any job interviews recently. So the promise of employment has failed, and they want to reinstate I think it's called the Federal Employment Act.
Yeah, that gets into lots of the stuff that's later on in the episode in terms of the media blackout of what's actually going on in the sanctuary district and the freeing of that media through the ability to get past the logins.
Yes.
So.
Oh no, internet censorship also. This is.
Yes.
I'm so glad I watched this today.
It's so prescient, this episode, in a lot of ways. It really
like
is.
I don't know if it's a bullseye, but it's certainly it's in the green one around the bullseye. It's a
yes.
Yeah.
This is probably the most prophetic sci-fi story to date.
Well, I would say certainly from Berman Track, yes.
Well, I'm including the entire genre.
Oh.
Okay. So
and so far you're not wrong.
Some more of what Cisco says here is that part of what happens is that hundreds of sanctuary residents are killed, and Bashir is appalled by this, but Cisco says the riots will be one of the watershed events for all the reasons you just described. Scotty, R37, and Gabriel Bell will be the person who helps, the hostages not be killed. And he sacrifices his own life to save them. He becomes a national hero. Outrage over his death and the death of other residents will change public opinion about the sanctuaries. They'll be torn down, and the United States will finally begin correcting the social problems it had struggled with for over 100 years. And so and so of course the first thing they got to do is try not to interfere with this as much as possible. Of course, that we know that doesn't happen.
Yeah, how did that work out?
Not too well, no.
But that's their destiny.
But this is, and again, this is like writing. What year was this episode? This is like what, 97, 95? Like we're talking about. This is like in 1981 talking about Escape from New York. And they're saying, it's the distant future. No one's going to care in 2024 what we say about 2024. 95. So what is this? 29 years ago? Or 19? 29. Right?
Is Sounds my math right correct? To me.
Okay.
Yeah, 29 is correct, yes.
So this is them talking about 30 years in the future. And the final lines are, how did they let it get this bad? And it's like, well, actually, from the benefit of hindsight, I can look back on the last 30 years and say, that's how.
There's
like,
a lot
is
of
Chris
reasons,
Elon Musk in this?
Well, that was Brenner.
Yeah, Brenner. Do you think he was Elon Musk in this? Because he kind of says, you don't know who I am? Everyone knows who I am.
And I was going to say, well, but this guy is in charge of media corporations. And it's like, okay, yeah. And Elon Musk has Twitter. So maybe. He doesn't have any rocket ships, though. This would have been a better episode if Chris would have had some rocket ships. Mm-hmm. It would have been a little more balanced
like this
in
actress,
terms of,
and Oh, sorry.
It would have been more balanced in terms of the rest of society still showing a bit of hope for the future. They're working towards space travel and all of that. You like this actress?
I like this actress, and I enjoy.
I like.
Well, she is
Tina Lifford.
I'm sorry.
That's Tina Lifford. She's massive. She's massive now. She's one below A-list in the industry now. Tina Lifford, because she's got a lead in a massive show. I think it's a Tyler Perry produced show, Queen Sugar. She's Queen Sugar basically in the TV show Queen Sugar. 88 episodes.
Nice.
6 seasons.
She's very good.
Yeah, I really rate her. I did a top 10 favorite character actors on my blog, and she's on the list. She's great.
Well, and she humanizes the story so much and tells the tale of the sanctuary districts from sort of a cog in the machine, and so she does such a great job in this in terms of just sort of humanizing and empathizing with the bureaucracy while not necessarily taking the bureaucracy's side.
Well, right. There is, like you mentioned, a moment where she doesn't do what she's supposed to do and almost gets fired for it, and then just kind of continues to just go along with it.
Tiger Stripes is here. Hello, Tiger Stripes.
There's the problems. Yeah, hello, Tiger Stripes. I kind of remember this episode. It's extremely cool that this is the day within the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. And that's the whole reasoning behind it.
It's like
correct.
It's like the most depressing Christmas. We all had to show up and open this episode and then be like, oh no, Star Trek was right.
Well, and all the apartments are overcrowded. And so, of course, Cisco and Bashir cannot find a place to sleep. And so they're
well, and so they're still walking around with their Starfleet uniforms. Everyone's calling them pajamas. And I do appreciate that when they switch over to civilian clothing, that it's because people were like, no, I want those pajamas. Like, it's a trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
But this particular scene says Bashir is still questioning why things are the way they are here, because he's like there are treatments for these kind of things, the mental illnesses that are around them. And Cisco says it's not that they don't give a damn, doctor, it's that they've given up. The social problems they face seem too enormous to deal with. And then there was something Bashir says that only makes things worse. Causing people to suffer because you hate them is terrible, but causing people to suffer because you've forgotten how to care, that's really hard to understand. So that's the main message of this episode, I think.
Apathy.
Yep. And then we roll right into a brawl here over some food, over a food card. You would think people would, figure out how to hide their cards a little better. So.
Well, and then we get, I forget the actor's name, so I'm just going to call him Frank Military. So we get FM, and he's in there. Starts a running insult with Cisco, calling him new boy. I thought that was a little racially charged, because I know.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
African Americans do not like being referred to as boy.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. Good catch. That's probably what they were going for.
Well, and also it pardon the swear in advance, but I enjoy at the end of the episode knowing how important Gabriel Bell is when Cisco sort of corrects FM. It is just an ultimate fuck you. I'm Gabriel Bell. I love that. I love that end. It's one of my. I think it's on par with my favorite two-parter cliffhangers. Like, I like this two-parter probably as much as Best of Both Worlds. That's how high I would put this.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, that is the reason why you asked for this episode, and
I ditched Terminator 2 for this, so yeah.
So yeah, that definitely. Well, that's very meaningful, and of course, Bashir uses his abilities as a doctor to check out this kid who's fortunately going to be okay. He just needs to.
Was that the kid who was getting beaten up?
Yes,
or
he got
was it a
beaten
different
up.
kid?
I don't know if it's the same one.
Hmm.
Because with the action scene, it was moving so fast, I didn't know to make that connection or not. And so they want them to help, but they're still at the point where they don't want to mess with the timeline.
Well, and a lot of the reason that this is, again, we know hundreds of people are going to die, but we can't do anything. And that makes it even more sort of heart-wrenching. It's like, we can't interfere. And it's an Edith Keeler situation, and you feel the weight of it. Because it's not as romantic as Edith, but it's still, we are barreling towards catastrophe. What do? Nothing. We can't.
Didn't they just mention here that Europe is falling apart? Like that is totally on target too with what's going on over there right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And did they mention
I don't know. I'm not
neo-Trotskyites or something? Like neo-communists? Like, it's all just so damn real. It's scary.
Did you catch it when did you catch it when they said Greta Thunberg?
They might as well have, Scotty.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really something. It's great to refresh my memory because the details are just like, yeah, there's even more here than I remember. Actually, like, wow.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of detail.
It really is great. It really is.
Well, and this is the fight where they get involved whether they like it or not, because Gabriel Bell comes to their rescue. And there's a thing about this actor. He's actually Cisco's stunt.
Oh, really?
Stunt double. Yes.
Really?
His name is John Lendell Bennett. And he assumes the role of Cisco acting as stunt double and stand-in for Avery Brooks.
That's a cool spot, Joe. Nice.
He does kind of have a similar resemblance, actually, doesn't he? I can see.
You know what the unfortunate thing is that in the march of time, according to Starfleet records, this man's face will never be seen again.
That's right.
It's going to be Ben Cisco, whether you like it or not.
Well,
Gabriel Bell will be remembered. But no one will know what he looks like.
Everyone just thinks it's Cisco anyway. And so then he also plays Kozak in the House of Quark.
Oh, wow. He's a Klingon too? Wicked.
Interesting.
I wonder how long they worked together. I wonder if he was on A Man Called Hawk or Spencer for Hire.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if he worked on any others.
I don't know. I have a romanticization of actors and their stunt doubles ever since I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What, they just become best friends?
Yeah, I figure all actors have best friend stunt doubles.
Oh, I love that movie. I'm doing a special on that. So if anyone wants to for that, let me know.
That is my favorite Tarantino movie. So yeah, I would love to.
Same. I think it's a big shame we never got the Tarantino Star Trek film. Actually, I think he would have done it. Yeah,
I don't know.
It would have been interesting to see.
It's like when people talk about how Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in Star Trek 4, and it's like, yeah, that's curious, but I don't know if I actually wanted to see it.
I'm glad he
was.
But
compared to everything we've gotten, I'll take it. I'll take one good movie.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So they're running away. They hide like homeless people, as you do in a homeless district.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
I thought it was cool.
And the man who just got killed was Gabriel Bell. So they're in the thick of it now.
Well, so much for not messing up the timeline.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, but the thing is that I appreciate Gabriel Bell's sacrifice in that moment as well, because he died saving Ben and Julian. And so also look at this camouflage that the 24th century decided was, okay, let's go back in time in this. They decided to, yeah. O'Brien, what are you doing? Kira at least looks passable as a casual individual anytime. You look like you're going to a prom on the Jetsons.
Actually, you could also say, he's cosplaying.
Well, and he does have an idea. Like, I guess this is what, a sport coat and a
well, but also
turtleneck.
Scotty, they don't know what time period they're traveling to.
Yeah.
No, they got what? How many do they have? They got like a dozen, but they only have enough chronotons to go like 5 times or 6.
10.
Yeah, 10 to choose
10.
from, but 6 to go to.
Oh. Oh, you're right. Okay, you're probably right. I'll trust you. I don't.
It's something. It's ballpark around there. Also, one of my favorite things is seeing Odo use a Federation transporter and how he just uses his 2 fingers to slide. Because usually I'm usually a thumb and ring finger guy when I like to, but it was I enjoy seeing Odo use a Federation transporter.
Well, yes, but also you're mentioning some connections with City on the Edge of Forever. Well, yes. I think this is kind of a connection too, to say that the Defiant ship was also unchanged from the changes in history, because apparently now there's no Starfleet, there's no Federation. But how come the Defiant's still there? Well, they say that it's in a bubble where it's not affected. Bubble. A subspace bubble around the ship that isolated it from the changes in the timeline, similar to how when McCoy changes history, the crew of the Enterprise are still there. They're unaffected by McCoy, but the ship is gone and everything outside of the planet is gone. So the planet itself, the Guardian of Forever planet is isolated.
It's a time bubble as well, basically.
Well, and it's the same sort of idea as the Captain. We seem to be in some sort of temporal wake, and then they can scan Earth and see that it's 9 billion all Borg, and it's like, okay, we got to go to the past, Marty. And so yes.
It really helps with the storytelling.
Yes. And I forgive it. They gave me enough techno babble to make me believe it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You know why we're here? Because we have to be. There'd be no story.
Yeah. You missed an important line, though. Miles says that right now they're the only ship in Starfleet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. They are.
And then this is where we
all that's left.
We get Webb sort of humanizing and talking about the plight of the sanctuary districts.
Well, he's glad that they're going to help now.
And there's Elon. And, I don't like this look, Jadzia. I want the ponytail back.
Yeah, that is horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah.
And I've seen Little House on the Prairie. That's worse than anything I've seen.
Food in a place to stay, no strings. That's what that look says.
What is it? What does it say?
Food, because he said food in a place to stay, and that look to me says no strings. She's,
oh right,
bring up the defensive barrier there. You're not getting anything else.
Okay.
No. he was talking about what the sanctuary districts are. He has a false perception of them that they actually are a good place for homeless people.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Dax
I remember.
but
mean, we're only seeing slides, but I remember he's the guy that offers her a place to stay.
He does. He
like
buys
better
her
accommodations than everyone else, you know.
But yes,
yeah,
the
he
hairdo
buys
does
her
say
hotel.
all business. Yes.
Yeah.
But Dax counters
Also,
if that's all the sanctuary districts are for, then why is there a wall around it? And that's the question.
Well, and the thing is that when Elon gets her a place to stay, he says, "Oh, I got you a hotel room for 5 nights. This is the name of the hotel," and it's like, "Good luck." Doesn't tell her where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just thank you very much. I will go there, and she does, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
Like she.
Sorry, Jill, go back one still a second. Does anyone else see like a flaming Pegasus in that image, or is it just me? Like a horse with wings on fire.
I think it looks like Rocky flexing to the sky.
Yeah, over here to the left, it looks like a horse is rearing up on its hind legs.
Yeah, and then the one on the right could be all fours with wings. Anyway, not relevant, Jill. Carry on. Sorry.
No, the one on the right is Rocky, and the one on the left is Eddie from Frasier. We're just staring at clouds.
It does look like a flaming horse, actually. Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of abstract art in the middle of the Deep Space Nine review. It's a good distraction. I like it.
I'll do my best.
Well, fire can be very abstract when you stare at it for a while, for sure. I used to have a fireplace.
But the reason for the fire is that one of the guards got into a fight with a dim down at processing, and everyone's going crazy. And this is Danny. Danny's talking about his dad.
Yeah. The peasants are revolted. Yeah, they stink on ice.
Booger in the chat, and oh, by the way, oh heavens, I have to get the clip, but Booger in the chat says, I see Rocky, but I was thinking more the Hulk. You're right. It is a little bit more the Hulk. I agree.
Booger! Do you know, I only realized Rene Auberjonis had passed away a couple of weeks ago. I only realized he'd left us. I totally missed it when he died, which was December 2019. Totally missed it.
The name is Bell. Gabriel Bell. This is also one of those episodes people do criticize Avery Brooks for his somewhat breathy intensity when he yells. I love it when
no,
yells.
that's one of the best things is Avery Brooks is.
Yeah, I think he's in a league of his own when it comes to acting. The other cast have to keep up with him, really.
Look, you're looking at.
There are people who are critics.
I mean, this is, even though he is persona non grata with a lot of people now, this is the best captain Star Trek has ever had.
I'm kind of with you on that. Although, no, he's the second best, because let's not forget Benjamin Sisko, fanboys to Jim Kirk. Even Sisko
he replaces Kirk, is what I'm saying. Kirk is
succeeds him.
Yeah.
Well, and both of the actors are very similar because they both have strong theater background and they use it heavily in Star Trek, and I think it works really well.
Yeah, it's such a shame that Brooks is considered to be blacklisted, because I wanted to see him in more films and shows. I mean, he was great in American History X.
I thought he pretty much retired. I didn't think that he was.
Yeah, I didn't know he was blacklisted either. I thought he just
he was working as a preacher.
I probably shouldn't talk about that, so let's move on.
They did not want him. They did not want him to. A lot of people were calling the producers of this show, and they were telling him, "Don't use this guy."
They told everybody he was difficult to work with, basically, and they as good as got him blacklisted. True story.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was. Thought, again, as Raymond said, he was teaching,
Yeah, he still worked. I mean, he still worked, but he didn't. I don't think he got the career that he would have done. I mean, I still think he had an amazing career. Who gets to be a lead in a Star Trek show? You know, it's a once in a lifetime gig for anyone. But,
yeah,
and also I love Hawk. Like,
oh yeah, me too.
Like I'm a big fan of Avery Brooks. As you mentioned, American History X. Love that movie.
yeah,
And enjoy his role in it. I even like when he was in The Big Hit and he played like the Kingpin, essentially. Like that was rad. Not a great movie, but it's always great to see Avery Brooks.
Well, I didn't know about that. Thanks for for informing me on that. And Kronos asks, "What does Plomeek taste like?" There are actually recipes out there for me to try. I have not tried them.
Is it like chickpeas?
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Spicy chickpeas is what I understand.
The soup would probably be different from the tea.
Yes. Oh, gross. Spicy chickpea tea.
Ew.
Yeah, I hope it would be different.
Well, this is a Vulcan meal, so then maybe they don't really care too much about flavor.
It's probably
they care about flavor. They just has to be vegetarian. That's all.
It's probably very logical taste wise, I'm guessing.
How does something taste logical?
Sorry, I just couldn't resist.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Me and my silly sense.
So that's part of this is trying to get him, BC to not kill the hostages because he's just really trigger happy, even though he never actually shoots anybody. He
did knife Gabriel.
I don't know if he does. He's okay with being violent with the knife, but I didn't see him shoot anyone. So
that's
he doesn't. But I think he's one of the ones that gets shot.
But he does shoot one of the cops that comes in. He does shoot one.
Oh, that's right. You're right. He does eventually shoot.
Yeah.
But I meant the hostages. He's mostly just threatening.
Yes. Well, he's a ghost. And Dick Miller.
Fire bombs are being thrown. People are lying injured in the street.
I imagine Dick Miller did a lot of stuff. His face is one of those. His face is so familiar.
Oh yeah, he's been in everything.
Yeah, he must have been.
Yeah, he's got about 100 credits or something.
Wow,
tons of film.
Nice.
I remember I got into an argument with a friend of mine in high school, and he's like, "Did you know Harvey Keitel was in the Terminator?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, the guy who the Terminator steals the guns from in the gun shop, that's Harvey Keitel." And I was like, "That was Dick Miller." It was like he was one of the first character actors that I learned who they were because my friend thought that Dick Miller was Harvey Keitel.
According to Ira Stephen Bear, the BC is key to the theme of the episode, where BC kills. Oh yeah, he does. He kills. Oh yeah, he did kill Gabriel Bell.
I told you
in the first part. Yeah, you did. You did tell me that.
And you saw it.
Yeah. And I guess something about how he wouldn't have been. I don't know if it's really clear in the episode that he wouldn't have been a murderer if it weren't for being in the district. That's something that the authors, I think, wanted to get across. I don't know if they did that because he seems I don't know if they really communicate that too well.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned.
BC has a very strange character because he obviously, although all the ghosts, I guess, to be part of the gang, you have to wear a fedora. And also he does have, like, his dream is he wants to get a plane to Tasmania.
Yes.
And when he is scoffed at for wanting to go to Tasmania, he says Errol Flynn was born in Tasmania. And I'm just like, what a strange. Star Trek does have its sort of golden age of Hollywood references from time to time, but it was such a weird character insertion that it made BC at least somewhat intriguing, because he would have, like, not a guy in 2024 who I would figure to enjoy Errol Flynn movies. Maybe a Robin Hood fan. Maybe that's what he's going for.
Well, what they were going for were to highlight a character that wouldn't be a criminal if not put in this position, because he has a line that says, if you treat people like animals, then they become animals.
Oh,
and so that reminded me of Westworld, where you have robots, and artificial intelligence, where they rise up against the humans basically and start killing them back, but it's only because they've been killed and abused the entire time.
I just want to go back to the Errol Flynn thing for a second.
That shows there's more to his character than just being a thug. He actually knows a couple of things, and so, and maybe he would have ended up a journalist or whatever, had he not lost the job and ended up, in that sanctuary hellhole. So it's stuff like that you have that they were probably working at.
I just have to wonder, the writers. I just want to mention BC mentions Errol Flynn, right? And I'm just wondering if the writers intentionally put the reference to Errol Flynn in a character called BC, because Errol Flynn did actually die not too far from here in British Columbia, which is commonly called BC, as we always refer to it here. And I don't know if any of the writers actually was conscious of that when they wrote that bit into the story, but I often wonder if they were aware that Flynn had died in BC. And I thought that was interesting to have the character mention Errol Flynn in the story. I'm probably way off here somewhere, but I'm just curious if the writers might have been actually intentionally making that reference point.
Maybe. There's also I don't know if it's still around. There used to be a comic strip named BC about cavemen.
I remember that.
So it could be either one of those, or maybe a movie. Somebody.
Oh, that's creative.
Yeah,
it's just that since Errol Flynn died in BC, it just clicked in my head as soon as I thought about it. Right, so it seems like a weird coincidence. Anyway, I'll put it that way.
Well, you guys bring up some interesting symbolism for this character that I used to just think, man, this guy's annoying, because that's why the only clip. That's why the only clip I got was.
But you get on my nerves, and I don't like your hat.
The dude with the hat is played by Frank Military. What a surname to have, Military, as your surname. Do you think his family's career aspirations possibly are connected with the military going back?
I do wonder if that's a stage name, though. I just wonder.
It might be. It's entirely possible. It's an unusual stage name to pick, because you're aligning yourself with a genre and reducing your range with
true. Yeah.
So you don't really want a surname that does that in it as an actor.
It's a shot. It's probably him taking a shot at being remembered.
Holy,
Jonathan Frakes.
I had no idea Frakes directed this.
Oh, wow, I forgot that.
The man who killed Thunderbirds live action.
Oh, come on! I guess no. You can keep that grudge if you wish. I'm okay with the grudge.
Yeah.
No, look, it shouldn't have been a live action movie anyway. Let's just be honest. A movie about. It should have been the marionettes like the old show.
It's a terrible, terrible script.
But it got Ben Kingsley.
Well, yeah, but
But yes, Jonathan Frakes does direct this episode. He's at this point he's being given episodes at random, so he drew this one randomly, and so yeah, here he is.
Is that like a Star Trek Christmas party raffle present thing?
Yeah.
Put your hand in here, see which episode you're directing next year.
But that's probably why in part 2, I don't know, maybe it has a little bit of prestige in this, just because you get Deborah Van Valkenburg and Clint Howard. So,
yeah, good episode to direct.
Actually. Yeah, whoosh! I'm invisible.
Yeah, and Dax finally gets to do a little more in this episode. She gets to infiltrate and use the benefits that she got from the other
Elon?
people. Elon, yes.
She is very lectury in this, but she's lecturing properly.
Well, it's what the writers want to get across anyway.
Well, yeah, and it is like if people don't like this 2-parter and find it a little morally heavy-handed, I can understand. But this is, hey, there he is, 2 fingers.
I think they could have made it a 1-parter.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't know. I quite liked this as a 2-parter. I thought it was fine. Don't think the guest characters wouldn't have been as good because all of that stuff would have been so rushed.
Yeah,
you've got such a fantastic supporting cast that a pedigree that you wouldn't normally all get together. I think it's nice to let the other actors get to do a bit rather than just walk on of the week kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, this is almost like a precursor of.
I can see that.
The Benny Russell episode, Far Beyond the Stars. Is that what it's called?
Yes, Far Beyond the Stars. That's right. That sounds right.
In terms of like social commentary for modern era, and it's
Mm-hmm.
It's quite funny that my friend did a guest spot on Next Generation. I won't say who she was, and she said Jonathan Frakes was exactly like Riker as his persona.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean,
that doesn't sound like that sounds cool.
She meant it as a compliment, but like extremely charming, chatting up all the ladies.
That sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, I think she meant it as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
I met Jonathan Frakes, and he was as charming as the outrageous O'Connor.
Speaking of Jonathan Frakes, he actually lingered on this poster, but they think that he didn't realize the importance of it, so he accidentally did a good thing. Here is
I did want to say hello to Tony. Sorry.
Sure. Hello to Tony from Stark of Iron. Thank you for letting me know. I haven't checked on the chat in just a little bit because I wanted to talk about the boxing advertisement that we have in the background here with with Kira and O'Brien traveling back to the past to save the crew. And so it, of course, is the same advertisement that can be seen on the original series episode, "The City on the Edge of Forever." This is the direct connection to that.
Oh, okay.
And it might not be precisely the same. It might be a little bit different, but it's pretty close.
But the thing is, why? And I appreciate it. I like it as a reference. A lot has been said about fan service in recent weeks. But when The City on the Edge of Forever happened, that was in New York. This is in San Francisco. Are they going to have the same match again, coast to coast? I don't know how boxing works.
I think that's why the ad is slightly different. They did modify it for California. It's for the one for City on the Edge of Forever is Madison Square Garden. The ad in this episode is for Bayland Garden. So they did change the location to match.
Is that a real place?
I don't know. Bayland Garden.
Chronos says New York sucks.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a real place, but they changed it so that it didn't reference New York.
Okay. I just think I like the reference, but it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't really make much sense. It is, but the reason why they had it is to the reason why they put this here is because they wanted the audience to think that O'Brien and Kira were on Earth at the same time as Kirk and Spock.
Yes, which I like.
Yeah, I don't know why the typography of boxing matches are uniform across the nation, but why not? Doug Drexler said the poster was included because he realized the scene was almost identical to one in City on the Edge Forever. So I think, okay, so this happened because a fan of Star Trek. Doug Drexler is a huge Star Trek fan as well as being the art director. And so he fanboyed over
okay.
the look of the scene. And he was like, let's put the poster in there. And so, and then of course he actually
just a little nod to TOS, basically. Then,
well, and it is funny because it's a cute scene with Kira as well, and it is reminiscent of he had an accident. He had his head caught in a mechanical rice picker, and and in this one, O'Brien, before they beam down, says, "Just say you broke your nose. In fact, don't say anything. I'll do all the talking." Which makes sense because he's the human. We're going to Earth. And then she does say, just briefly, in this moment, I broke my nose. And she turns away in shame. And then O'Brien's like, we agreed you would not say anything. I just love that little moment. I also love this. I love this two-parter because it's with people who are paired up with their non-traditional pair-ups. I love that it's Ben and Julian. I love that it's Kira and O'Brien, because whenever Kira and O'Brien get together, they get shit done. Like they went and they rescued that Bajoran guy in the Circle trilogy. Like when Kira and O'Brien team up, I'm so happy. And then getting to see Ben and Julian together is like watching a Kirk and Chekhov episode. It's like you guys shouldn't hang out, but I like it when you do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the pairings are really good here. I appreciate that too. And you mentioned this earlier about his plan to get an airplane wherever he wants. And Webb is like, yeah, well, when we get off the airplane, we go right to prison. So he can't really inject any reality into BC, however.
No. And Webb is so, Mike is great. He just wants to be able to let people know that they shouldn't be trapped. It's unjust.
Exactly. And that's all he wants to do. I mean, he just wants to be able to provide for his family.
And this is so funny. I enjoy this part because of my current employment, but I just love the futility of this argument. I just want a job. Well, there aren't any. All right. Let's do crime. No, let's try harder, Homer.
Well, the crimes BC started it, and so I guess they have to figure it out.
Well, as history has observed, it is easier to destroy than to create.
Unfortunately.
You're talking about universal Armageddon.
And it's terrible when people try to take the easy way out.
I love the easy way. Stop knocking the easy way.
Well, but that's where I kind of the tone of the episode was really.
But that is true. There is responsibility.
There are, and the responsibility is to make sure that none of the hostages actually are hurt. And
yes. Hey, we get another Terminator reference.
Oh, talk about that for a minute because I need to catch up with the chat. It's gone. I didn't realize 60 chats. Where was it?
Can you go back? Can you go back one slide, just so we can see the Terminator?
Okay. Tell me when to pause.
Okay.
Because it's a video of slides.
Okay. It's a PowerPoint presentation.
It goes automatically.
It does. There it is.
Oh.
Data link terminated.
And it is that's the only time in the entire episode that it's not Macintosh font.
Right. They did this one in Word. Word perfect, maybe.
And I did, you know what I was noticing on the special effects, I really appreciated that there was reflection in these terminals. So you could see, you know, reflections. I thought that was really well done. Anyway, the chat.
I'm looking at the chat. Like you said, Stark of Iron is here. Hello,
hey.
Tony. And also Do the Evolution 78 is also here. Here's your favorite dino. Let's show some love for Jill. You know what, Do the Evolution 78? I'm gonna find a dinosaur clip of some kind of dinosaur I like for you. But I don't know what it's gonna be yet.
That was my attempt at being John Williams for 4 seconds.
Thank you. That'll work for today. TQ Doom. Hey, TQ Doom.
Tiki.
Glad you're here. Also, this episode was Trek's apology for Code of Honor.
No, Lieutenant Yaw. No vaccine.
I like that. Thank you. Okay, let's go find our crew members and get back to the Defiant, says Kira. According to Kimberly and Hart, is very accurate. Thank you.
Kira and O'Brien they get stuff
Kira
done.
and O'Brien. Well, they have to. Well, it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, but they do it together. You know, when you go into battle with someone, you go on adventures with someone, there's a bond there. Hey, doesn't Kira carry Keiko's baby?
Not yet.
No, but soon.
Yes.
So they're besties. They're best friends.
Yes.
Yes.
Soon.
Oh no, but there's some weird foot rubs though. I'm not so sure how I feel about those things.
Well, but that was the entire point of the episode, is that it was getting weird, and they acknowledged it, and I like that.
Probably Quentin Tarantino's favorite episode of Deep Space Nine.
Alrighty.
Let's move on.
Let's moving on.
Let's move on. Sorry, Joe.
That's okay. That's okay. That was a good joke.
It's Filthy Friday.
It is.
Yes, Buddy said that would be fine. I checked earlier.
And okay, this guy's just trying to make BC more angry for some reason. Check your email, buddy. Does anybody
No, I
use
like
this phrase
that
ever?
I've heard boomers use check your email, buddy.
Have you? I haven't.
I have.
Well, I've heard check your email. I never use buddy, but
no. But I can understand, why don't you check your email, as a sarcastic thing of like, why didn't you read the news?
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Like it basically means crawl out from under your rock.
Yeah.
He's really like channeling like Johnny Depp there. Some kind of Captain Jack thing going on.
Oh, that's true. That's not a bad comparison. There he is. There she is, Debbie.
Yeah, Deborah.
Detective Preston from the SFPD.
She just did a Comic-Con, I think, somewhere this weekend just gone. She was somewhere with a load of the Warriors, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's interesting how that film has become a classic.
Yeah, there's a great photo of the surviving cast and her. I think it was taken last year. Of them all. There's about five of them left or something.
Oh.
And this is why I enjoy the actress who plays the sort of processing woman, and like she really expresses fear incredibly. She adds to the tone of the dire nature of the situation.
She does. I agree, and 100% with her acting abilities in terms of expressing emotion and the extreme ways in which they are warranted for whatever's going on. And well, they're trying.
Tina Lifford, is that you talking about? Yeah, she's so good.
Yes, well, they're trying to negotiate, but there's a bit of mixed messages between Webb being level-headed and BC just
being an asshole.
Being an asshole. Thank you.
That's what let's just face it. It's the hat that's holding it back.
It is.
Yeah, the hat's too tight on his head and it's cramping his brain.
What brain?
What little that he has. Breakfast for 10,000? Oh, that sounds like a lot.
You know what they get?
Orange juice and breakfast biscuits or something.
You know what? You may have seen breakfast biscuits, but I saw McMuffins. I think that this the breakfast was completely McDonald's.
I was thinking McMuffins.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually.
Well, what they really want, of course, is for the districts to close. But in the meantime, they get McDonald's. Federal
Franco says cheers.
Act. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't.
Franco, do your thing.
What does that entail?
They don't really go into it in the episode. Yeah. They kind of keep it vague.
Well, but also, like, let's not forget that Cisco is he's somewhat familiar with the events of the Bell riots, and so he probably knows what he knows the importance, the impact. So whether or not it's what he thinks should be done, he's doing what was done. He is playing out history.
It has to be done. Yeah.
This is cool. This kind of feels, of course, Julian is his own character, but it feels kind of almost on par with the McCoy moment because he's able to do medicine without his tricorder. Just figuring this out by observation, which is good.
Yeah, and that's why I like this episode too.
Thank his mom and dad for that.
Oh, right. I forgot he was genetically engineered. Thank you for reminding me of that, Raymond. But I do appreciate, before we get to that revelation later on, I guess spoilers. The thing is that I do appreciate seeing Julian doing doctoring. Like, I think I'm not in the minority. When I started out, I thought that he was just the guy who was simping for Jadzia. And as the series went on, and it was this episode and the episode with the Lethian, that when he invades Julian's mind, like these two episodes, I'm like, you know what? I'm on Bashir's side. I dig Bashir.
Yes, and this is also an important scene. You mentioned it earlier, so important. You were excited about it, where Lee reveals that she processed someone who had a record for abandoning her child, and Lee felt sorry for her because she couldn't take care of her. She left the child with the family she worked for, and she felt sorry for her and didn't log her into the system so that she wouldn't be found by the police and let her disappear. But it got found out anyway, and she almost got fired, and she just continued her work. And Bashir tried to say it's not her fault, and she said everyone says that, but then nothing ever changes.
Which is so striking
and true.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think that they omit in this episode is there's no real reference to drug abuse, except for that story-ish. And maybe I'm bringing stuff to the fiction that is my own. But it was like she couldn't take care of him. And it was like, no, she was just a junkie who gave up a baby, and they made it illegal for her to abandon the baby, which good law. But it was just like, go away and do whatever. Because you don't deserve, you're already so far gone, or maybe you can make something better of yourself. Maybe this is going to be your rehab. But like, I think that was something which would have made this so much darker if they introduced the rampant drug abuse in the Sanctuary District. I guess it needed a rewrite from Harlan Ellison, but
right. Oh no. I'm glad they didn't go there, actually.
But I'm just saying that is the only part of this story, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it is just my interpretation, and I could be wrong. But I always thought that was the only real reference to something
I think it was better that they
prevalent.
didn't, because then they can focus on one thing at a time instead of having too many different stories running around.
Yes, this would have been a salad bar of social commentary if they had included drug addiction.
Well, the thing is too, it's a sanctuary district, so it's probably heavily controlled by the law, and it's probably would be difficult to smuggle drugs in the first place, because they're probably keeping a close eye on people, right? So
yeah,
good point. Yeah, and besides, you have to kind of just factor in that there would be people with substance issues there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's probably like it's an unstated fact that doesn't really need to be stated, because we kind of can read between the lines of the episode, I think, so to speak.
And that's what I'm saying in terms of that particular expositional character enhancement, is that it does hint at something, but it doesn't make it overt, which I appreciate. I am in agreement.
Yes,
just something I felt.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And so what, BC's getting tired of Vin, so he's about to shoot him, and Cisco is telling him to put the gun down, but he's not quite listening. That's where we get that quote from.
But you get on my nerves, and I don't like your hat.
I thought we were on here.
Vintage talk.
Yeah, he just needs sunglasses
and his beard,
and that hat.
Yeah, no, totally. I wasn't going to advocate.
And the hat.
Oh yeah, so good. It's your head. And this, I really like this, and I think that Bill Smitrovich does a great job at this. I think the scene is perfect. And when he just walks up and never breaks eye contact with BC, and just takes the shotgun barrel to his chest, and then the response from BC, I think, is great. You gimmies, no sense of fun, because murder's fun, guys. So I can't wait until he dies.
That shows just how little of a badass he really was.
Yeah. Oh, are you advocating? You think that he should have shot Webb? Also, he looks like a donkey in that slide.
He had the advantage. He had the advantage.
Yes.
So
he could have something was holding him back. You're right.
And then this interaction, seeing Cisco and Vin, but Dick Miller and Avery Brooks, I like this interaction a lot. And I enjoy that it culminates when he's like, "Are you threatening me? Or are you trying to scare me?" Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the response is, I'm trying to save your life. I love it. Yeah.
And the lives of the hostages. So, quit saying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I do really enjoy whenever in Star Trek, like people. Okay, I don't want to clump people together, but I really enjoy it when the words "shut up" enter Star Trek. It's my favorite swear in Star Trek because it is antithetical to Star Trek for anybody on the show to say "shut up," and when they do, that is worse than any swear that you could pull.
Well, kind of in a way, this episode is antithetical to Star Trek in general because it's before.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, because it's set in a time before Star Trek, and so it doesn't have any of the
colorful
the benefits. No, the benefits of being above, being past poverty, being past hunger, and being past the energy crisis, being past all of the problems of today. And so we're thrown back into all of those problems to see how Starfleet officers would handle them.
Yeah.
If I may just interrupt for one moment, Franco Walker says, "I've not seen Dredd. I enjoyed Judge Dredd, though. I also enjoyed Judge Dredd, but you have to, Franco. Don't walk, run to see Dredd with Carl Urban."
Now for Scotty, our 37's favorite scene.
Yay!
Personally, I don't like Judge Dredd. Dredd is Urban made that role. That is what Urban did was what you saw in the comic books.
Yes. Hello to Mr. Miles. Also, Jill, when you watched this, what song was playing? Do you recall?
That was supposed to be. I don't know what song played. I don't know what song played. I just know that that I was supposed to hear Jimi Hendrix, but I don't know if I did or not.
I did for sure, and it reminded me again of when we sort of covered Quantum Leap, and we've been watching WKRP, and so it's nice to hear the actual songs on the episode.
Well, they actually paid the money because the Hendrix estate is pretty notorious for being difficult to deal with, I believe, too. So they must have coughed us some good cash.
Yeah, I think for if you're watching it on streaming, if you're watching Star Trek on a streaming service, you might not get the right song here, which is why physical media is king.
Yep.
Well, let's not go crazy. The packaging for Deep Space Nine, the box set, is awful.
Well, they need to HD it for one.
Well, they can't. It's a sad reality. They can't. Like it would be like producing the entire television show's special effects again from the ground up. That is the issue.
You say they can't, and yet fans are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can do it. It's just cost prohibitive for them. They're just not interested.
And that's a better way of saying can't.
If they upgrade this to Blu-ray, they will make so much money because people will buy it. They will buy the box sets. I will buy the box sets. Okay.
Oh.
The only reason I don't have it is because it's not 1080. If
Mr. Londell,
I would buy it.
Mr. Londell.
Yeah.
This past week, I completed my Blu-ray set of Star Trek The Next Generation. I had to get season 6. It was the last one that I had to get. And now I have them all on Blu-ray. I was so happy to get them physically. And yeah. I just thought,
congratulations.
Behold my stuff.
Well, it's been a long time. It's been a long road for Scotty to get all of his TNG. So
yes,
he's finally made it.
Been a long road, huh?
Yes.
Getting from there to here. Sorry.
I set it up. You knocked it down. Thank you. And there's the hope that they can make a difference here. They're trying to make it happen. But the governor is not being very promising. He's just saying, "Oh, you won't be so much of a criminal if you give up your hostages," but not really providing any actual support towards ending the districts. So it doesn't look very good so far.
And it's not
of course. Well, it's not. And the running threat is that he's going to bring in the National Guard, which is what's going to happen, and which is what does happen.
She's just playing the slick game.
Well, I don't think she has a choice. She is a sympathetic character because she does try and say, like, "Come on, no, a lot of people could die," and the governor, like, she advocates for the district, I suppose.
Well, there's Clint Howard kidnapping Jadzia.
Yes. Everyone wants a comm badge. That's what this two-parter should be called.
Yes, he still is the comm badge. And they already know that they're supposed to get this information out there. You already said this earlier, is that's the whole goal, is to reveal the truth of what's happening in the sanctuary districts through their version of the internet that they have here. That they have to be able to log into. Yeah. But they need to get past the security of it and unlock it. And Jadzia helps with that. I don't know with the past without Jadzia and Cisco how they got in. If somebody else
I still
helped.
hate that hair.
I do too.
It is just not her.
Hideous.
What were they thinking when they bobbed her?
I don't know.
But she crawled through the sewers, which is pretty cool. We didn't get to see any of it, but
gets my vote for the worst hairstyle in any episode of Star Trek ever, personally.
I don't know. You got a first season
awful.
Troy happening for an entire season.
But you know what? BC loves her.
Oh, well, look at that. That's hideous.
Yeah, it's better than Troy in first season TNG.
Oh, I don't think so. But
actually, the worst hairstyles are the Romulans.
Ah, no, I love it when Troy becomes a Romulan.
I do too.
Jill, I feel you could embrace this haircut.
Yeah, Jill.
What? Why?
Really?
And
oh, geez.
if you do, yeah, you get this haircut, and then I'll shave my head and grow a goatee.
There you go. That can be the Christmas present for the channel.
There you go.
I second the motion, Your Honor.
I vote A. I vote I.
I think there's going to have to be a substantial donation for that kind of thing.
Well, as Jim Kirk said, I'll let you know as soon as this becomes a democracy.
Okay,
Yeah.
chat.
Oh,
Get them
thank
super
you,
chats
thank
rolling
you.
in. Super chats now for Jill's haircut. Let's see them.
My hair like that. I'm just kidding. Please don't super chat. I was kidding. Yeah. It wouldn't take a doctor long enough to find out she's human. Yeah, so Jadzia has to go because she's an alien.
Yes.
And
again, this is one of those cool
Bashir,
things that yeah,
go ahead.
Bashir has to stay. And I think that's one of the cool things. Like, he still has the
chooses.
responsibility of a doctor. He steps up to the challenge of this situation. And thank heavens he does. It is arguable that he saved Cisco's life.
Oh, definitely. No doubt. I could see that. But no, this is Clint Howard scene. It's really great. Yeah, he's invisible. Well, no. They say, well, we could see you just barely. So they play into what he's saying, and also that that they're aliens. But Jadzia can safely admit that she is an alien, but Clint Howard knows that she's a good alien.
Suck your brains out right through your ears.
And in order to save everybody, she's gonna need her badge back to save Earth from its enemies. And he says sure, and he gives back.
Well, and that's, again, I think that it's comedic, but it's also touching in terms of presenting the mentally ill in the sanctuary district as being mentally ill but not dangerous. And so all Jadzia has to do is say, I'm going to need that to help save the planet. And he's like, oh, no, sure, I understand. And he's helpful as long as you respect the person and not talk down to them. And so I think that it does help narratively.
Actually, she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. She was.
Because right now they're trying to repair the timeline.
Well, with anyone else, she would have had to make something up. And she's convincing him to let her have access to the net.
The net, yes. And I like that. And this is one of those things that gives me the Musk. It's like, I'm going to lose my license, but I'll get great ratings. And it's like, there it is. There's that 21st century go get 'em attitude that I was looking for.
Yeah, in a way, capitalism saves.
Yes. Well, and not only that, but everyone says that Star Trek is a very socialist thing. And there is a line in this two-parter where Sisko says, these people want to be able to work for themselves and not depend on handouts. Which I thought that was,
yeah, that shared dialogue between him and Webb.
Post-scarcity doesn't mean socialism.
Well, I always thought that Star Trek wasn't really socialist. It was socially conscious without being preachy. But that didn't make it a socialist show at all, at least not to me, you know.
Yeah. Well, actually, Trek is preachy, but it's subtle.
In a good way, not like the woke, Star Trek that we've had in recent years, which,
yeah,
this episode's pretty woke.
It more says, have you considered this, as opposed to you should do this.
Right.
You should think about this, is what they suggest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate the difference.
Informative as opposed to directive.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because even the security guards are shown to have the ability to change their minds.
And I do really like this return. And it's like, we can pretty much guarantee that they're not in anywhere after 2048. Because I know Earth history, and it was never like that. So I do enjoy their narrowing down their search. Although, way to flip a coin. There are three more options and one more attempt with the chronotons. And he just basically, he throws a dart.
He does. He doesn't tell us. He doesn't tell us the reasoning for going to the right place. He just gets lucky.
Well, he's good at darts.
Actually, we're complaining about her haircut. The entire outfit is like terrible.
I don't know. I think she pulls off business fancy very well. I enjoy the costuming.
No.
It's the haircut. I just want the ponytail back. Give me back my ponytail.
Now this scene when everybody's discussing sports, okay, that shows a lot of commonality if you think about it. And he arguing baseball with Sisko,
Yeah. Well, and they bring up Buck Bokai, and that's something we haven't had, is the London Kings are not a baseball team.
Well, they're fictional. They're Star Trek. Only exist in the Star Trek universe.
Although, if you wanted to get even just a little bit more, if you want, you can apply this to what you want, but it is 2024, and there is no longer a Queen of England, but there is a King of England. So maybe Deep Space Nine foresaw the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Just roll that around in your head for a second and dismiss me when you're ready.
Well, I don't know. I can't really answer that one, but when
also, does
Sisko
it make you upset? The baseball fans get upset?
Can you hear me?
I can, but I just wanted to interject one more thing about the baseball stuff. Are people from New York upset that the Yankees are not as good as the fictional baseball team?
Well, that's the interesting thing is that I was going to say is that Sisko says the best team is the London Kings, the fictional one, and Ben says it's the 99 New York Yankees. And the Yankees did win the World Series in 1999.
Nice.
Which happens after this episode.
Yes.
Wow.
Deep Space Nine did it first.
Man, that was a good guess, I gotta say.
That is totally like Psychic Friends level.
Yeah. Danny's told to go, which is good. I'm glad Danny left because he would have been killed.
Yes. But now he has head lice.
And no death.
And here comes the guard.
Here comes the fuzz. Hot fuzz.
And I know I have some chat. I will get to it when we get it after the episode. I just want to make sure I don't run out of time.
Gunfight, blah, blah, blah. Someone gets
Oh,
shot,
yeah.
someone goes down.
I forgot to ask you to do
I know. I wouldn't have had time. I was really lazy. It's been such
the shooting happens.
Busy week. A lot of shit happens. Gunfire. People get shot.
Well, BC gets shot and Webb gets shot.
Yeah. And Cisco gets shot.
Ben is like, "Don't shoot me, you idiots! I'm a hostage." There it is.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah. You pacified it all right.
Yeah, I like how he directs them out of here. Just you caused enough damage, please go.
And then they have yeah.
That's good.
But again, it is sort of a commentary on the limiting of information between different situations.
Yeah. But
we heard you were dead. And it's like, how did you hear we were dead?
Well, he heard a rumor, he said, right? I believe.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad when law enforcement starts operating on rumors. That's a bit scary.
See, and then that would have been an interesting inclusion as well in terms of sort of mass surveillance, if there were cameras everywhere. But that was not, I guess it was prevalent. But again, I didn't want to go into the social commentary salad bar.
Yeah, there wasn't really any overt cameras in the episode, but they could have been hidden cameras, I suppose.
Sure.
I haven't had lunch yet. I could go for salad. So Ben decides to
salad bar.
let Cisco and Bashir go because they saved his life.
Yes. And
he's just going to say they're dead. So it's just like the regular history where Gabriel did die. And so that's except now Gabriel just looks like Cisco instead of his stunt double.
Yes. And I like this walk away. I like this walk away shot. And it's like, just tell people what happened here. And he's like, I would have done that anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. I think it's, again, there's a character arc with Vin. He starts off being so on the side of the bureaucracy. And then because the bureaucracy fails him, and then even his colleagues fail him, you could have got us all killed. And then he's like, okay, this is messed up. Like, this is really bad. I didn't think it was as bad as this, because they would have killed me, and I'm not one of these. Like, so even his prejudice informs his redemption in a way.
And yes, and that's what Star Trek's all about, is the redemption of characters who aren't tied to the preconceptions that they have at the beginning of an episode.
There's one thing wrong with this episode, though, in my opinion.
Not enough Quark.
Well, now they wouldn't have known that Cisco changed the timeline. They would have just always known, as somebody would have brought it up. Do you know you look like a guy from history called Gabriel Bell?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't that line about him getting, a call from Starfleet Command about that. They wouldn't have known.
Yeah, but then also, like, there is a possibility that Sisko's entire Starfleet career was influenced by the fact that he looked like Gabriel Bell. People were like, "Oh, I remember you as a revolutionary hero." But then, if I bring that into account, then I can also say, well, what if the wormhole aliens made it so that Sisko was born at all? Oh, wait.
Well, remember, Twark said it well. All humans look alike.
Yeah.
When he saw the Bell picture.
Yeah, that's right. In Little Green Men, Nog committed that he looked like Captain Sisko.
And all
that's the
humans
problem.
Look alike. I forgot about that. That's great.
That's a problem with time travel and the paradoxes that you get from having to deal with the different timelines.
But in trials and tribulations, it's when he got a visit from the temporal people, because he meddled with the timeline.
Yeah.
Or they think that he meddled, some kind of way they knew he meddled with the timeline.
I just got a couple of super chats. I need to meddle with the timeline of this live stream and read from UK Danger Man. He sent £2. He says, "Hi Jill, great stream. Happy Gabriel Bell Day." Yeah, that's today. Thank you so much. I'll play it one more time, I guess. Why not?
But you get on my nerves, and I don't like your hat.
Should have gotten more clips.
Do you have any more Siskos?
Only one.
Oh, I can live with that. Is it from Pale Moonlight?
But now he is using my game. My game!
Fucking love
And
it. Sorry about the swear.
No, but I can get that for you. I can get you Pale Moonlight.
No, I don't want it. This is already depressing enough. I don't need that one as well. But I do love, again, I love it. If anything, I would want the Sisko meets Kirk.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, great. I'll get that. From Trials and Tribulations.
Well, and Mr. Miles brought up an interesting question in the chat, although we do have...
Yes, you're right. We do have another super chat from Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division, who sends $5. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm enjoying this as I motor to my work site. You all be well. Hug your loved ones, which is good advice anytime.
Yes.
Do I have any hugs? I don't know if I have any hugs. I don't think I do. I need to find one.
There is an ineffable quality to memory.
I was looking.
Sorry, I went looking, and you changed the menu just as I was clicking. So.
Okay, well, pick one of these.
No, it's your turn. You're the one in charge.
Rock and roll. 6.
Rock and roll, yeah.
I like to dream. It's been a long road.
Oh no, not again, Scotty.
Oh no, but I love that song. It's my ringtone.
Risk is our business.
That's a good speech.
Hey, and we got through the episode too. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and less than 3 hours to boot. That's pretty good for a double episode.
But where would you put it? Do you put it as, okay, so I don't want to rate it and I know we don't even have to. But like as a two-parter in the pantheon of Star Trek two-parters, is it upper, middle, or lower?
Well, I could tell you when I reviewed it for Saturday Night Star Trek for the Clobby channel. Rest in peace, Clobby. I gave it a B.
Nice.
So that's where I was with it. But nobody has to use the letter grade system. You can say you can use Scotty's ranking if you like.
I give it all an A with all the pluses.
I thought it had some interesting.
I'd go B.
It had some things worth talking about, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether you agreed with the way it presented or not.
I'd probably give it a B plus, mainly for how prescient it is to predicting the future we're actually living in now. That's the main reason I think it's a really, really solid episodes. Yeah. But it's not my favorite. I mean, there's other episodes I like more, so I can't quite move it into A territory, but it's close.
I'm enthusiastic just because I got to watch it on the day.
I just have to rewatch so many episodes to really be give an honest rating, because there's so many Star Trek episodes and I need to rewatch a lot of them, but I just haven't had the time. So
you're in for a treat, sir.
One of these days.
But also, sorry.
Well, I would. It's hard for me to give it a letter grade, but as to list it as favorites, it would be probably third on my list, third or fourth on my list. The top one would be In the Pale Moonlight. Okay, and then you've got like Waltz and Duet. Those two episodes, which would be second or third, that's hard to tell. And then I would pick this.
Possibly.
And then you've got all the then you've got episodes like The Ship, Rocks and Shoals, and all of the Ferengi episodes.
Oh, really?
It's hard. It's hard to just totally list them.
Oh no, it's super
that's
easy.
True.
Barely
You've got categories. You've got categories of episodes, like you're saying.
Well, the thing is, for me, like a lot of my favorite episodes are ones with the Klingons in them. So, I'm a big Klingon fan, so that's a whole other category.
Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah, but like, and
General Martok, okay, that was the swag,
Yeah,
for the show.
Like there are load bearing episodes that are important to the story of Deep Space Nine, and there are ones that I just love, and that's Trials and Tribulations, Take Me Out to the Holosuite, and Past Tense, and that would be in my top 5. Also, Far Beyond the Stars, and what's my 5th one? Oh, let's say Alamarain, just to piss people off.
You do not seriously love Move Along Home.
No, I do not seriously love Move Along Home, but whenever I do a top 5, I never actually secure my top 5. It's my get out of jail free card.
But I will say this about Move Along Home. It's not as bad of an episode as we pretend that it is. It's not a good episode, but it's not the worst.
Getting to Move Along Home is the equivalent to turning up the Archies singing Sugar Sugar on your car radio when you're by yourself.
I like all the Dominion War stuff, personally.
Yeah.
I was always waiting for the Star Trek that was going to give us big space battles. If anything, they probably went a bit too big. But it's the last time in Star Trek that the ships in Star Trek move and fire like they should, and then it all starts becoming like Star Wars. Everybody's bombing around at 90 mile an hour, and I always like the fact that they felt like naval engagements. It was all a bit more slow and lumbering, and it takes a while for a ship to move a huge amount of room in space because it's so vast. So
they turned all of those big Galaxy class ships into fighter planes.
Yeah.
Towards the end of DS9, some of those battles got a bit too big and quick, but that was easier for them to do them on. But I think probably one of my favorite episodes is the one where where they go through the wormhole and they encounter the Dominion for the first time, and the Galaxy class ship that's with them gets destroyed, and they've got the two armed runabouts. That's before they even get the Defiant. That's I think it's one of the closers of season 2. It's near the end. That's a great.
It's right before Generation.
Yeah, it's a great episode because you just know something really bad is on the horizon, and sure enough, you know.
Well, it's the Worf thing. Is that I think that Star Trek: The Next Generation, if it didn't end, it was about to end, and they used the Galaxy class starship going through the wormhole as being like, okay, now the big guns have come. And when the Dominion destroys a Galaxy class starship, the Odyssey, it's like, all right, these guys mean business. We're in trouble. And again, if you wanted to show that a bad guy was really, really bad and strong, throw Worf at him, and then Worf will get beat up. And now we know how strong and bad the person is. Same thing with the Dominion is, okay, you want to know how bad these guys are? Let's put a Galaxy class starship against them, because we all love Galaxy class starships. We spent 7 years with one, and it's like, nope.
Oh, and then goodbye to it.
Yeah, they because and not only that, but they suicided runned it. They did a banzai basically, and that's like, wow, okay, these people are they're prepared to take themselves out just to prove a point. So that for me was that's when the show got really you knew it was going to take a serious and quite dark tone. And then there's so many episodes that come off of that, and the whole narrative of them deliberately infecting Odo so that he would kill off the rest of the
and by them we have to say that was Section 31.
Yeah, I mean the whole moral implications of doing that in a war and what it meant, I thought were really well explored. And I think the other thing that's great about this show is, although the acting on Star Trek Next Generation is perfectly fine, and of course Picard, he had a lot of stage experience, but the older cast on this they had a much bigger range of experience before they came to Deep Space Nine of doing kind of very serious acting. And so when they got those kinds of storylines, they were really able to make them feel that, they brought them to life. They made them breathe. And I was very invested in Odo's narrative with this show as it went on. And
yes, I do like his character too. Wow. But I think Raymond's trying to get my attention.
Yeah, Jill, I got to get going. I've got some things I've got to take care of. Great chat.
Is there? Well, wait. Do you have a moment to promote your stuff, or
Oh yeah.
Say any last words for this episode, or anything you want to say?
Definitely a B episode, and I'm glad you did it on the actual day. I completely forgot. And again, it's very very prophetic in the times that we're facing right now. But this gave me a new insight. I think I'm gonna have to watch it sometime over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the whole set still in DVD, but still it doesn't get old.
Good luck with the packaging. It's like opening a treasure chest of shuffling discs.
Oh yeah, well, you got to do that with the 50-year anniversary of the original series too. So
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, so you get used to it anyway. Tomorrow we're doing Just Cause, the usual madness. I've done some fixing on my website, the Dolphin Wars website. So if you don't mind, I'll put my link out there. And I hope you all come, like, and subscribe. I am still on the road to 1,000.
Yes,
So,
let's get Raymond to 1,000.
so
How's it going getting? But you did get past 500. So have you applied for monetization?
watch hours is killing me.
Watch hours. Watch hours.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah,
watch
that's
hours.
they hiked that up as well, so it's harder to hit that.
Yeah, but I'm working on it.
Didn't they lower it to 3,000?
Yeah, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So
everybody go watch Raymond's channel. Get his hours up.
Yep. Thank you very much, Joe. Great show. Thanks, Scotty, PvP, Lance.
Nice to meet you.
And nice meeting you. And I can't see the other guy because Jill's.
Mr. Londell.
And LDG, Mr. Londell. Good seeing you guys. And good seeing the chat here. And please stop. Check us out tomorrow night. It's going to be crazy.
Yay.
Yay, hooray. Sounds great.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Okay,
Thank you for being here.
Have a good evening there, Raymond.
T-U-R-D-A-Y. Night.
Do the Evolution says, "Hail to you, man. Take care, and in the words of Raymond Cocktail, be well, Demolition Man."
Oh, cocktail. He wanted to say cocktail, not cocktail.
Oh.
Although,
I
you know what? Now that you mention it, why not?
I can't. I have to go pick up my children.
Well, I'll drink for both of us.
Thanks. And so, yeah, okay. I wanted to see where I was in the chat because I had like 100 chats.
Yes.
111 chats. Mr.
11D.
Miles is here. Oh,
that is
Mr.
actually
Miles,
11D.
You highlighted this chat for me. It looks like Mr. Miles has his order of Star Trek here, original series, TNG, Voyager, DS9, and Enterprise. Who had the best time travel episodes? Maybe that's not his order of.
I think it's
Star
the
Trek.
list.
I don't know.
Posed
I
as
think
a
it's just
question.
he just listed. Yeah, he just listed them. I didn't know. Usually, when people list them like that, that's what they're doing.
I think
Who
the
had the best time travel
Ferengi Roswell one is one of my favorite time travel episodes because those guys have such fun with that. That's such a fun episode.
Okay.
I'm going DS9 because I like this one. Again, Trials and Tribulations. And I don't know if you're going to count Far Beyond the Stars as being a time travel, but I do appreciate the
I don't
period
know.
setting.
I think that was just the prophets messing with Cisco.
But it's
that was more like a fevered dream he was having.
But it was still period.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then also as you mentioned, Little Green Men is also very good.
Yeah. That one's funny.
And then the episode where they go to the future or they go to the planet with Odo is better at making noses and says he loves Kira. Like that's a time travel episode as well.
I don't like
I'm
that
fine
one,
with
though.
it.
That's
I know
not a
you're
good
mad
one.
at it, but I like it.
And it did make one of the best Saturday night Star Trek episodes on Clobby's channel. If anybody wants to go through his archives, he has the most hilarious rant about time travel in that episode.
Yeah, that's the one where Odo looks like a old rich guy. That's a dirty old man. I can do without that. That's not really a time travel. It's more like an alternate universe.
Yeah, that's true. Alternate future.
I can do without it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Because it just ends up not mattering then anyway. Mr. Miles says, and these fan versions that Jill mentioned are not the best in terms of upscaled DS9. It's just upscaled using AI. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I asked my AI if they'd heard of you, Jill. They had not.
No.
Oh, that's a relief.
Well, Jill's still safe then.
Yeah.
What was the
bent,
one,
Siri?
What was the one where Cisco went back to see his father? Was that a time travel episode, or am I not thinking?
Yeah, no, his father's still alive, I think.
But wasn't there one where he went back as
goes on?
he
was
old?
leave? It's a shore leave episode. He goes back home.
There was one where Cisco and his father got together, but they were Cisco was different, wasn't he, in that episode?
It
like he was
was
older
Jake.
or younger, or
it was Jake. And
are you talking about the visitor?
I think so. There was one with maybe Cisco was older. Yeah, okay. That's
Cisco flashes in and out of time. And
Jake
grows older, and he's all remorseful about the loss of his
him and Jake.
Yeah, I like that episode a lot.
And that's a good time travel episode, although it is arguable that it's not a time travel episode if you don't consider moving forward in time.
Well, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, it's not time travel. I mean, they do. It's kind of, but
if he moves forward in time, I mean, isn't that travel?
He does. I'm with you, PvP. I
think it's travel. I don't know.
Yeah, I do too.
I just really like that episode. I think that's a very heartwarming episode.
It is. It makes me cry every damn time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of the
few
love
feeling emotions.
It's one of the few times Cyril Lofton got to do any decent acting, from what I remember, because he actually had a good, he had some good scenes. He normally got such naff story.
Usually he got B stories, didn't he? A lot of the time.
Oh, but I liked when he was upgraded to reporter, war reporter. I thought that he did a lot of good stuff in the Cardassian reoccupation of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but it took him a long time to get there with him.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right.
Now the best Jake episode is with he and Bashir during the Klingon War. And they were at that outpost.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's a good one.
That's the best Jake Cisco episode.
You know what I really
were you saying?
Oh no, Mr. Lundell, please.
I missed what you said.
I can't remember the name of it. It was Bashir and Jake were coming back to Deep Space Nine, and they get a call. They put out like a help for some planet that the Klingons were attacking. And and since he's a doctor, that's where they went. And Jake ended up writing. Right. He wrote a story. He wrote an article about that.
Because he experiences the horror of war up front.
I think it's Nor the Battle to the Strong, episode 102.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember the name of the episode. So.
Yeah, Jake is returning from a medical conference with Julian Bashir. Although he tends to write an article about Bashir, he can't find anything interesting about him to write, but then they get the distress call and the article all becomes about that story. That's the one. Season 5, episode 4.
Oh no. Sorry, that wasn't about you. That was just about my personal physical circumstance. Right. I apologize.
No. It's fine.
Well, if there's any day to, this is important for me to remember Bird, and that's happening in the chat. So I wanted to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Well, and I said it before.
His eulogy, it's on his channel.
It is, and I do have a playlist of all the memorials that I know about. And the first one on the list is the memorial that's on his channel. It's got over 700 views. There were more than 200 people, concurrent viewers watching.
And I've said it before on a couple of those memorials, but I won't stop saying it because I think it's really important, not just for other people, but also for me, is that I got on the internet to talk about Star Trek with people who love Star Trek. And Bird was one of the people that I feel confident in saying that I shared Star Trek with him. It was never I get competitive, and if there's something that I like that other people don't like, it usually ends up being adversarial. But with Bird, it was always, we shared Star Trek, and it never got into a what's better. It was just, oh, you like that? Oh, okay, that's cool. And And that's how it went. And like, I want to go back now because of him, to go and check out, because I know he did watch the filth, and he had honest interpretations of that, and he was exactly the guy that I was looking to talk to about Star Trek on the internet. I wish more people were like him, and I wish I were more like him, to be as open to other people's perspectives. And I hope that I can carry that and honor him with it, because he's part of the reason why I'm here at all.
Yeah. His rants on the last season of Picard are epic.
I know. I was mad at those. I was so mad at him for a while for those.
Yeah, so it was incredible to speak to him about all of Star Trek. Thank you. That was well said.
Not Buck Rogers, Buck Bokai. Sorry.
Oh, Mr. Miles says, I grade this as a solid 4 1/4 strawberries and 5 bananas.
Oh, my stars. What a smoothie.
So no Star Trek First Contact? Oh, wait a second. Wait.
We've done that.
Oh. Well, but it's a little bit later, you know. It actually Star Trek First Contact was released like a couple of years after this episode, right?
Yes.
And then
but it does have the Defiant.
And but it says that the World War III happens after this episode, like later.
What is it, 2042?
Something like that. I know 20 or 30 years, maybe 2050. And then of course we get,
you know, I'm a horrible Star Trek fan if I don't remember First Contact Day.
Yeah, April
5th.
It's 21 something.
Is it 21? I thought it was 20.
Whatever First Contact, it's.
We are all failing this exam, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have. Yeah.
We don't have the entire internet at our fingertips.
Well, check the library.
I'm looking. Aye, Captain.
April 5th is right, though. I know that much.
All right. 2063. Okay. I failed. I apologize.
We've got a bit of a while to wait yet then.
I know. We all have to meet here to watch Star Trek First Contact on April 5th, 2063. I'll see you guys then.
Yeah, I'll only be 105 years old by then, so I should be able to.
Well, that's not as old as Admiral McCoy. You'll be fine.
Maybe there'll be some medical science breakthrough in the next 20 years that'll make people live, you know, for an extra 100 years or something.
Yeah, I'm not making it. I'm not making it to 87.
Be a living being on the internet, so you just hop on the stream like.
Well,
yeah, maybe I can upload my consciousness into YouTube somehow and be there for the party.
Well, were you there? Were you there on Jill's First Contact stream?
I certainly was.
So there you go. Now people can actually plug into your voice on that day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was a fun stream. Actually, I remember having a good time on that one. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so fun that I never got rid of those clips. Those clips, I love them too much.
Good.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, I just always really enjoyed that.
I want to thank everyone in the panel here for being here. You guys have been great, and I love all the fun that you brought to this episode that maybe isn't so fun, but y'all made it like a blast, and so did the chat. So thank you. Odo could make himself the perfect fit. Oh, I missed what conversation led to that. But there's a lot of directions that can go. Odo, I can't believe that anyone ever found the founders attractive. I'm not trying to judge, but the head founder looks like an evil nun. with a plastic surgery job.
I don't know if I find that attractive, actually. Well, I guess to each his own, I suppose.
I don't. This is an afternoon conversation, but I have many thoughts on what it's like to make love to a founder, and I don't think any of them are appropriate for this time of day.
Moving on.
Oh, but Do the Evolution 78 says we acknowledge Jill and all she's done for us. Go, Jill. Well, that's sweet. Thank you, Do the Evolution 78. Buck Rogers on the 25th Century is the best sci-fi show ever made, according to the person with a name I can't say.
Subjective opinion there, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's got a good
I
theme.
don't know. Wilma Deering. Aaron Gray does draw me to that show. I'm not a big Gil Gerard, but I also enjoy Tweaky.
The South Park
is
better.
I can't stand Tweaky. That drove me up the wall.
Yeah, no,
I hated that. But didn't they get rid of him in season 2 and they brought that Hawk? They brought that Hawk character in. I like season
that is
2
the
a lot
weirdest. That is the weirdest thing in the world. Is that Hawkman decision?
I thought it was. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought he was a cool character. Actually.
He had a cool space.
Oh, sure.
Actually, what they did was they dropped Mel Blanc, who did the voice of Tweaky.
Well, Dr. Thilopoulos.
Yeah.
And according to Gil Gerard, he raised a big stink and got him back later on in that second season.
I don't remember Tweaky in the second season much, actually, though.
He was there.
No, I don't remember him.
What
in the second
they
season.
did was they added a second robot, and they put Wilma Deering in this cute little, looks like a flight attendant's.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess maybe they went to the second robot more often then, so there was less Tweaky time or whatever.
Yeah.
Tweaky time. That's what I'm going to name my strip club.
You could have a tiki drink at the Tweaky Club.
Oh, the Tiki Tweaky bar.
There you go.
Every time the door opens, instead of a bell, it just goes dibby dibby dibby.
Oh man, that's pretty good actually.
Mr. Miles, I'm sorry, guys. I need to watch what you guys are watching. But Mr. Miles says all of your AI duplicates will be here for 2063.
Huzzah!
So they will be duplicated. That would be great. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, check your AI and see if it knows who Scotty R37 is. If they don't know who Jill is, then that's good. If they don't know who I am, that's also
Jill,
good.
I've got to duck out. I'm live in 5, so.
What? Oh my God! You stayed here the whole time. Thank you so much for giving me so much of your time, even at the expense of preparing for your own.
That's
show.
all right. I was able to eat my dinner during the first episode, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Please check out Lance at the Outcast Creative. I'll be wrapping up in a few minutes myself, and so you can switch over to him and enjoy his Nielsen ratings.
That's on Tuesday nights.
That's on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm doing a gaming.
I'm used to seeing you on Tuesdays.
No, I'm doing a gaming stream tonight. I'm doing Spartacus on Sunday. The last 3 episodes of Spartacus on Sunday, and then on Monday I have a film producer coming on, who I'm interviewing. His twin brother worked on one of my movies as a producer. He passed away. And he had heart surgery 6 times. So he made a documentary about him, which is called 6 Times Over or something. So the premiere of that's coming up in London in a week, and he's coming on to talk about it. So that's the next interview that I'm doing, which is on Monday. So yeah, there you go. But thanks for having me on. I'm a massive fan of Deep Space Nine. I am going to do a stream about I don't know if I'm going to do top 5 or top 10 DS9s, but it's going to be one or the other, and I definitely will do that before the end of the year. Because I said I was going to do that when we first met, didn't I? And I still haven't done it yet.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll help calculate the results. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you got to
let me know.
Got to come on that one. You'll have to do one of your special charts. for me. All right.
Yes,
really great to
be,
see everyone else. Nice to meet the new panelists as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. I'll see you at the next one.
Good to see you, Lance.
Yeah,
nice to see you, Lance. Have a great weekend.
I will. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
And speaking of people heading out, I've got to stop this stream. So why not, Mr. Londell? You tell us what you're doing around here on the internet, and we will get out of here.
Okay. Well, tomorrow, my tribute to Bird of Prey 5. And to having a watch party of this double feature. The Star Trek movie that he loved will be at 2 o'clock Central. And then after that, the Indiana Jones movie that he hated. And we're going to approach this like an Irish wake. So, it'll be laughs, some, what we like, what we liked about Bird, how, all the good things about him. And there'll probably be a great many toasts and moments where take a shot. So hopefully you can join us.
I think I'm going to be there, so I hope to see.
When cloaked. Sorry.
It's okay. You're welcome to come and sing along to Star Trek 4 if you like. And thank you. Yes, and that'll be a good show. I think that's the best thing to promote today. And Scotty, R37, what do you have going on in your internet life?
I don't know. I do know that I'm going to be doing a Wednesday show on Cinema Gulp. Don't forget to subscribe with Cinema Gulp. We were talking about the best and worst remakes this past Wednesday. And also subscribe to the Phantasmagorium show. We just did our review of Revenge of the Sith, their third episode of Star Wars. And yeah, subscribe to Jill. And that's, I'm on X. And is there anything else? I don't think so. Oh, right. Oh, also, I want a She-Hulk doll. If you can send me a She-Hulk doll, just make sure it happens, please.
No.
That's what everyone says. That is what everyone says.
Almost. But I agree with you, Kronos. I love Star Trek 4. And
so do I.
Oh yeah, PvP, you're here too. Thank you so much for hanging out today.
And yes, thank you for remembering that I'm actually here, Jill. I do appreciate it.
Whoosh, you're invisible.
I know. Sometimes I do feel invisible lately with some of the things that have been going on.
But
I won't
barely see.
Well, I am invisible on a certain website, which possibly could be permanent, unfortunately. I'm going to have to put some hours in writing a rebuttal before I submit an appeal. And I'm going to, it might be novel length. I don't know how many characters they allow, but I'm going to find out. I have a feeling because it's going to be a complex explanation to try and get them to pay attention, I think. But
where
anyway,
are you banned?
Well, you probably know.
No, I don't, because you're banned. If I'm on that platform, then
I know it's pretty common knowledge. I mean, Jill knows, right? You know Jill.
Yeah. PvP.
And I don't think Twitter. I want
to. X.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody does know. Well, so like, it's not like it's private information, is it?
The thing is, I just checked because I actually have 2 online emails now just to be on the safe side because the way things have been going lately, I got to back up things. Anyway, I finally checked that second website, and it was I got banned twice on my first account. I appealed twice and won twice. the second time I appealed and won, within less than a day, they were flagging my account again, which I know what that means because when they do that, they did that the first time, I was suspended within 24 hours. So I closed my first account at that point because, I thought, well, this is ridiculous. I'll start over. Not realizing that that's a violation of their policies because that's considered evasion.
Yes.
And I actually mentioned it to Jill, but I guess she wasn't aware of it, unfortunately. And so I just went ahead. And
no, because I looked it up and it said you can close an account and start a new one with the same email. But I guess I forgot about the part where you were,
I
you
sent
had
you
to.
I sent you the notice yesterday, which you probably have read by now, Jill. So so anyway, the second time was interesting because
what did you do? Did you post
I
like
did
a bootleg
nothing.
version of Song of the South?
I was going to finish the explanation. I opened the second account. It was fine for about a week. Then it got suspended again. And I hadn't thought to look on my second email site, but I just checked it yesterday. And the reason the second account was suspended was because a Twitter user had reported it. So that confirms to me that there is some person on Twitter that has it in for me that got me, suspended the first two times, and now they've done it to me a third time. I have no idea who this individual is, but boy, I would sure like to know because I'd sure like to give them a nice little talking to if I ever find out. Somebody's really got it in for me. I don't know why. I don't know. I've never done anything to anybody that I can think of online to deserve this kind of treatment. I've always been,
It's Geddy
tried
Lee.
to be civil.
Geddy Lee
Yeah,
has
right.
targeted you.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, you don't do anything on Twitter. You just DM.
So I don't know how to defend myself because
I
it's like
really don't.
some third party, some
Without
person is making all these lies up about me, and Twitter, being a corporate entity, just believes it hook, line, and sinker. Apparently,
that's possible. I have no clue. You have to ask support. Say, give me some proof of these supposed
that would be the link
that
that you
I'm
sent me.
violating. Yep.
That's the link you sent me previously, right, Jill?
Yeah. Oh no, Franco Walker gives you the advice. Please stop posting links to your OnlyFans on X.
I wish. Maybe I should get maybe I should get an OnlyFans. I might have more success on there than on X these days. Jeez. I don't know.
I want to thank Victor Fontaine for showing up here at the end of the live stream. I am a fan.
Victor Fontaine. That's great. One of my favorite characters, by the way.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
I always love those crooners. Good stuff. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to try and figure out eventually sometime in the next, I don't know if I'll get around to it this weekend because I got plenty of stuff to keep me occupied around here, but I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm even going to write. I'm not sure even where to start, but I'm just going to basically just tell them exactly, I think step by step, exactly what happened and just be 100% honest. Tell them, this is what happened. I was good for, I think, I'd have to look it up. I probably got the email where I signed up for the first account. And I was good, I think, for 4 or 5 months with absolutely no problems at all. And then all of a sudden, I got that first suspension, and it's all been a nightmare since then.
What was the infraction?
Yeah,
I think the first two were something about my account was associated with spam. And I'm thinking, well, perhaps this other entity reported me as a spammer, even though, Jill knows I never spammed anybody because I hardly ever did anything except, the only thing I basically ever did was send direct messages to you guys. That was about it, right?
I
might have put a few likes. Might have put maybe a dozen likes on videos over 4 or 5 months, but not much, right? And and when I see the crazy stuff that people post on there, the political, far left, far right stuff, it's like these people aren't getting suspended.
Yeah. Oh, there's my alarm that says I have to go pick up my children.
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't let you continue your
that's okay,
your
Jill.
wild ride and
I'm just going to have to figure it out, but I just don't know what to do, guys. It really I was really depressed last night, to be honest, about this whole thing. Like,
are there any upcoming live streams? Are you going to be doing a Waltons on Friday?
No, I got an email this morning from Gorilla saying no Waltons today, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I imagine.
Oh, it is Friday today. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
anyway, Jill, your alarm has gone.
Anyway,
I know. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Okay,
within 10 minutes, so.
okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. It was fun, as always.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you everyone in the chat. I wish I had time to announce all your names, but I think I at least announced them throughout the live stream, and I appreciate
And thank you to everybody who supported the channel financially.
Yes.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
There were pounds
Thank you.
involved. Pounds,
Thank
I
you.
tell you.
Right, pounds. True, pounds. Scotty, thank you, Scotty, R37 PvP, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. Lance, thank you. Lance from the Outcast Creative. Raymond Feliciano from King Dolphin TV. Check out the Dolphin Wars trilogy. He's an author who actually completes his trilogies. And
oh, there's one quick thing. I'm going to try and do live streaming. I guess I'll have to figure it out on my own because I don't think any of you guys have any time probably to give me any advice. Even though if
you have any questions, all you have to do is send me an email. Just just I could give you the first step. You can do the step, and if there's a problem, you can, we can solve it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Ultimately, riding a bicycle is an individual endeavor.
I guess if I watch some of the YouTube videos about streaming, that might help a bit. I'm guessing. Which
sure,
I think,
but
you're making it sound like Excel. That's how I learned.
Well,
Excel. I was like, I gotta watch YouTube videos and then ask people who know about Excel.
I know. I overthink things. I do tend to do that.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm just, this whole Twitter thing. I'm just so afraid with technology now. I'm going to click some wrong button and it's going to screw up some account, or I'm going to screw up some password, or something horrible's going to happen.
You sound like a person from a Medical Alert bracelet commercial. You've fallen where you can't get up.
I'm a bit stressed about all the.
Don't be stressed. It's supposed to be fun. It's a game.
I know. I really want to start streaming though, because with the.
It should be fun. It should be fun.
I want to. I want to be more active in the community too, because after the loss of Joe this past week, it's like I feel like I need to step up to the plate and start a channel and get some content and get some more interaction going with the community and offer more, because I feel like I'm kind of just slacking sometimes, right? It's fun putting up
you're
playlists,
slacking because you've ignored the alarm. There is an exodus.
Well, yeah,
in process,
there is.
And if you would like to start streaming, I would recommend you do so.
And if somebody wants to be heard on the internet, they should go for it. And I will talk to you guys next time. This episode, it was a good episode. And it shows the one point in Earth history where turmoil experienced led to dismantling a poorly conceived attempt to hide away problems with apathy. However, it also showed the power of media. And once the sanctuary district citizens could broadcast the truth, the population realized what was happening, and then positive change occurred. We have such a capacity now with social media and our devices, although some of us have some trouble with our social media accounts. So citizen journalism is more important than ever, as is the capability of separating fact from fiction, which is actually more difficult, at the same time than it was before, especially with the development of artificial intelligence. So we really are getting closer to some of these things cautioned by in near future science fiction. So, maybe that's something we can explore sometime also. I hope you guys enjoy your Friday and your weekend. I will be back on Tuesday to explore For All Mankind, and then Friday, for Canadian Star Trek Day, we will be covering the TNG episode Relics, which of course features Scotty Montgomery Scott, played by James Doohan, who is Canadian. So thank you for being awesome, and I will see you soon.
Okay, later. Have a good...
You guys want to say goodbye?
Yes.
Bye.
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 and the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.